Hopefully it's holding. Hope everyone is well. I've got the preview for the show. I am literally just transfixed on this little green light in the corner, though, to see if it's going to flicker over to red and crash and cause drama. I am convinced this stream is going to crash. I am convinced. But so far, so good. Okay, it's holding. That's good. Hope everyone is well. Let me blast down what we've got coming up. I'll try and jump into the chat. I'll keep an eye on this. Just had a bit of an issue getting the stream set up, and normally we don't have too many problems, so not a great sign. But yes, okay, we've got obviously the whole Jey Uso, what's going on. Roman Reigns is back this week. What's Jey Uso gonna do? He got super kicked by Jimmy last week. That obviously was a big moment. They're really doing whatever they can to stack the deck of making you believe that Jey could stay with Roman. I don't see that happening. I'm sure many of you don't see that happening. I think they're just trying to make this as interesting as possible. I really like the story. I really appreciate them doing that. I expect Jey to stay with Jimmy. But obviously, there's going to be a few twists and turns before we actually get Jey making that decision. So that's where we are with Jey. Roman returns tonight and should be tasty. Any SmackDown that's got Roman Reigns on it is always an interesting, significant SmackDown. So I am excited for tonight for that reason alone, to be honest. But as well as that, we've got Charlotte on the Grayson Waller effect. She's going to be talking about Asuka and going after Asuka and maybe going after that new women's championship that Asuka has. So Asuka against Charlotte, I'm totally down for that. I think it'd be great for Asuka to get revenge. I really want Asuka, though, to look like a badass. They've been using her a lot where she's looked just quite weak. You know, she relies so much now on the mist. It's just a constant mist. Every time we see her, she's misting or trying to mist. I really miss that NXT badass Asuka, that Asuka that was just able to go in the ring and just beat people. And there was no mist. This mist thing, I just think is such a miss. I really don't like it. So I'm hoping that we get Asuka coming out during that segment. I don't want to see any mist. I want zero mist, but I think we probably will get a lot of mist. So Charlotte on the Grayson Waller effect. We got a gauntlet match as well for the tag teams. So that is going to be Street Profits taking on Brawling Brutes, taking on the OC, taking on LWO, taking on Pretty Deadly. Winners will get a shot at Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. Honestly, I don't know which way it'll go. I'm thinking a heel team could win. We've already seen Street Profits against Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, so I don't think it'll be those guys. I don't think we'll go that way. So we've already seen Street Profits. Brawling Brutes, they're not heels, but I don't think we've seen that match. OC, they're not heels, but we haven't seen that match. LWO, not heels. We haven't seen that match. Pretty Deadly are heels, and we haven't seen that match. It is early for Pretty Deadly, but could they end up picking up quite a big statement win here and then going on to compete for the tag titles? I don't think Pretty Deadly will win them, but Pretty Deadly are probably in the mix there because OC are with AJ. AJ is a face. LWO are faces. Brawling Brutes are faces. Street Profits are faces. So it's only Pretty Deadly that are heels, or out and out heels at least. So Pretty Deadly might be my pick there. They might be my pick, but I could see some arguments as to why you might want to give OC the opportunity or why you might want to give LWO the opportunity, because LWO, you know, there's a bit going on with them at the moment. They could probably do with a title shot. Zelina got a shot at the women's title, for example. Santos has just qualified for the ladder match, so it would be good for the other members, Del Toro and Whackin' Wilds, or whatever they're called. It'd be good for those two to get a title shot. So maybe LWO? Don't know. That'll be an interesting one. We'll dig into that. We've also got Karrion Kross and Scarlett taking on AJ Styles and Michin. That's obviously off the back of last week when Scarlett went and she had a bit of a mist. She had mist. Everyone's got mist. I haven't got no mist, but everyone else has got mist. So she got some red mist and blew it in the face of AJ. So that's now set up this mixed tag match. And then the only other one that I've seen be announced, there are rumors of some other matches, but Zelina against Io is the only other match that has been confirmed on the official preview by WWE. So that's what we've got tonight in regards to what's been announced. And then, of course, there's news in regards to Payback returning. And outside of that, it's been quite a heavy AEW news day. I'd say the biggest story is the CM Punk interview, which has done the rounds. That's had a few interesting bits in it. And obviously, we're building towards Collision tomorrow. Collision is obviously getting quite a bit of hype because they've spoken about who the commentators are going to be. It's going to be Nigel McGuinness. It's going to be JR and Kevin Kelly. Those are the commentators for Collision. And we've got the lineup as to what the matches are going to be as well. A lot of them had already been announced. Of course, we know the main event. We know that Wardlow's defending against Luchasaurus. So, there's a lot of stuff doing the rounds about AEW this evening. Not loads for WWE. So I'll be interested to see what people are talking about, what people are pondering. And we'll start with DEFCON Eric, Pirate King Jack Adventures. Shout out to you. Says Snoochie Boochie. Snoochie Boochie, let's go. It's such a fun greeting. I love the fact you've got your own greeting. Shout out to you. Snoochie Boochie. Before we get into wrestling talk, I gotta say, I watched your wrestling shop tour. You made me jealous. Do they deliver to Florida? Yeah. Big thank you to everyone that's checked that out. Those toy hunt videos, I mean, we do a couple a year now. So they're videos that I want to keep doing because they're how the channel got to where they are. But I am very, very aware that there are other channels that make that content all day, every day. And so for people to still be engaging with them, checking them out, excited by them is really cool. It's really, really cool. So big thank you to everyone that's checked that out. I mean, genuinely, I think, do they deliver to Florida? The answer to that is I genuinely don't know. I would imagine that it should be something that could be worked out. I don't know that they get many orders from America, would be the honest answer. Because I have asked them that in the past about, like, do they deliver internationally? And I'm sure, I didn't ask them this time, but I'm sure the answer that I got was that they actually don't receive that many orders internationally. So it'd be worth just dropping them an email. See what they're saying. But to be honest, I mean, if you're in America, ringside is obviously going to be probably more convenient for you because they've got an incredible range. They should have, I would imagine they have got everything that Wrestling Shop have got as well. And they're American-based. But if you're in the UK, if you're in Europe, then obviously ringside have got some custom charges for us. And so this is where Wrestling Shop come into their own. So I'd have a little look over at Ringside Collectibles if there was something that caught your eye. That video genuinely was so exciting. And I think the excitement comes through as I'm talking because I haven't seen or done a toy hunt. I don't know. I mean, it's been months and months. And there is a lot of figures, even older figures, that I just have not seen in person. There's a lot there. I would say that there are, I mean, I don't think I'd even be exaggerating if I was to say that there was like at least 100 figures in that video that I hadn't seen before, because they've got Series 102, they've got Series 101. I don't think I'd seen Series 100 before. The 90s, all the 90s series, I think a lot of those were going back to like lockdown when those were coming out. And obviously, unless you ordered them, you weren't finding them in shops because shops weren't open. So, you know, there's just loads. And then, you know, all the basics that they've got, the recent basics, which I haven't even included, actually. There's another video just on basics, which I need to upload because they've got like the latest basics and I'd never seen them before. Never seen that board game before. There was loads of AEW figures I'd never seen before. Chase versions of figures that I'd never seen before. There was loads. I genuinely think that video has got more figures in it than maybe any other toy hunt. And I think more figures I'd never seen before than any other toy hunt. It was amazing. It was amazing. So I'm really pleased you enjoyed it. And a big thank you to everyone that checked it out. But in regards to checking them out, if you're in Europe, definitely do it. They've got an incredible range. I mean, I think it's the biggest range in Europe. I'm not aware of anyone that's got more. And but in America, ringside might serve a better purpose for you. Right, King Chris said, "Good day, ladies and gents. Great to see everyone. Great to see you, King Chris. I hope you are well." Mohammed said, "Why do you think Jay will choose? Oh, who do you think Jay will choose? And do you think will happen after?" So I think he'll choose Jimmy. That's his twin brother. And there's been lots of rumors of Usos against Roman and Solo. So it doesn't, you know, it doesn't really make much sense for him to choose Roman over his twin brother. It also would then mean we can't do that tag match. So I feel really confident that he is going with Jimmy. I love the fact that they're making it questionable which way is it going to go. And, well, that's what I expect to happen after. I expect there to be a match. After, I expect us to build towards Roman and Solo against the Usos, which has been rumored for a little while now. So that's the kind of direction I see it. I can't see any reason why we would change direction right now. Kian, shout out to you, said, "Days, hope you are well, having a good stream. What do you think is going to happen tonight with Jay?" I mean, it depends when we want to do this match. If we want to do Roman and Solo against Usos at Money in the Bank, which would make sense, then we have got literally a couple of weeks to get there. So really, by the end of tonight, we need Jay to select Jimmy. We need Jay to be with Jimmy so that next week we can get the match made. And, you know, we can make it clear that they are coming for them. That's if we're doing this at Money in the Bank, because Money in the Bank is only a couple of weeks away. It's only a couple of weeks away. And a match of that size, I mean, I don't know, you might even want to make it tonight. We really don't have much time. We really don't have much time at all. So it's very, very tight. If we're going to do the match at Money in the Bank, if we're doing the tag match at Money in the Bank, we've got to move. We've got to move. And in fact, not only does he need to make it clear he's picking Jimmy tonight, you might even need to make it clear that they're challenging them to the match. Roman doesn't necessarily have to accept this week. He can accept it next week. But we've got to really make some moves tonight. We've really got to take some steps forward. So it's very exciting. So yeah, King Chris, shout out to you. Mitchell, shout out to you, mates. Mitchell said, favorite AJ Styles match. I love AJ against Nakamura at Wrestle Kingdom and Unbreak Below 5. But in WWE, AJ Roman, AJ Cena. The first one that would come to my mind would be AJ Cena. I don't know. I mean, the Rumble one. Do you remember when they faced at the Rumble? That comes to mind as like the first one. I think that you really feel like peak AJ in WWE. I was thinking about this the other day. He came in. I remember him coming in, and there was some, as you can imagine, doommongers that were on social media that were like, I can't believe he's gone there. They're going to bury him. Vince doesn't know how to book a guy of that size, blah, 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 blah. And he has a great 2016, a great 2017. Even 2018 is, you know, it's decent. It's good for him. I think by the time we get into 2019, that's when the wheels are starting to come off. And then, honestly, lockdown is not kind to AJ. And really since then, it's not been kind to AJ. So I would say that for some reason now, AJ for, say, the past 4 years has been drifting, but so many great matches. If you're an AJ fan, if you go back to like 2016, 2017, 2018 of WWE, I never watched Impact, so I really can't tell you where to go for Impact. I know there was, wasn't he involved in a pretty historic, legendary triple threat match, which I believe is always in the conversation when I see people talking about great AJ Styles matches. I think it was him, Christopher Daniels, and one other person that I can't remember in some sort of triple threat in TNA. As I said, I don't watch TNA, so I've got little to no knowledge of it. But that is always a match that I know is highly regarded. And so TNA-wise, I would point you there. And over in New Japan, as you said, he had some great matches. Obviously, leader of Bullet Club. That match in particular at Wrestle Kingdom is one that would come to my mind against Nakamura. But I want to see him get back to that level. I haven't seen AJ, I've got to say, I thought his match against Seth this year was very flat. It was fun. It was fine, but it was not the match of the year contender that I was hoping for. And I think people were, I don't want to say expecting. You can't really expect match of the year, but you're taking Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, a brand new World Heavyweight Championship on the line. So the stakes, are really high. And you're giving them time. And, I mean, everything you would just think would be in place. The match was fine. It was fine. I remember watching it, enjoying it, and it was fine. But I also remember it didn't quite live up to expectation. I don't know. I mean, is AJ maybe on the decline? Maybe he's just not possible for him to have that kind of incredible match quality that he was having a few years ago. Perhaps WWE know that. Perhaps that's why they're not really putting him in those situations. I don't think so. I think he's going to be capable of doing it, but I just feel like it's been a while since I've seen one of those, oh my God, OMG matches out of AJ Styles. And that is a real shame. I would love to see him now really get in some singles matches. I mean, even tonight, it's a mixed tag match. It's him and Michin taking on Scarlett and Carrion. I'm sure it's going to lead to a one-on-one match between him and Carrion. But I don't know, is Carrion the right person to bring out a banger in AJ Styles? Carrion is not someone that you see having 5-star matches. And we know that AJ is very capable of doing that. So I think AJ is in a very interesting part of his career now. It feels like it's the final run. It feels like it's the home straight. I question how many years left he's actually got. I question how good he is in 2023. He's very good, but I'm talking about compared to where he was, compared to how good he was. Where is he in 2023? I actually don't know the answer to that. Don't know the answer to that because we just don't see enough of him in singles matches at pay-per-views to be able, because a singles match on TV, you can't really get much out of it. But on pay-per-view, like, if he was to face Cena again, I mean, there's no way that match would be as good as it was before. Just because I don't think Cena's anywhere near as good as he was before. Cena's match with Theory, I thought was quite disappointing. And so there's no way AJ Cena in 2023 would be anywhere near as good as it was in the past. But is that because of Cena, or would that be a little bit of AJ as well? Don't know. I really don't know. It's a really interesting question. Cameron said, the CM Punk ESPN interview is a work. Tony said he's allowed to do the interview and create buzz, said by Fightful, says Cameron. Cameron, shout out to you. I must admit, I read through it. I thought, I don't know. I don't know if there's truth in some of the things that's in there. So, for example, he said he tried to contact the Young Bucks and Kenny, and apparently he's been told, like, go to the lawyers, speak to the lawyers. Now, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if he's like working or what's happening there. To be honest, I read it because I thought it was something that people would kind of bring up. The honest truth is, I just don't care. That's the honest truth. I just don't care. I really don't care. Like, for me, CM Punk's coming back. That's the story. He's been away. He said, she said, they did this, he did that. I don't care. I really don't care. I don't care as to what's, gone on between them. I think the biggest thing that's happened has already happened, which, of course, was the media scrum and the brawl afterwards. Whether they've spoken since then, well, I saw Dave Meltzer was trending. There's all these like little things that are branching off. It just seems to be now that it's people just really wallowing in the dirt. There seems to be a contingent of people that just really enjoy wallowing in the dirt and really want to get stuck into, well, what did Meltzer say, and what did Meltzer know, and what did this reporter ask, and what did they know, and how did that leak, and who said this to that person. And it's like, there's people that seemingly really love to get stuck into that stuff. And to be honest, that's just not me. I think the actual incident is massively newsworthy. The fact that wrestlers actually fought each other in the locker room, which has happened many times before, but in AEW, and it's such high profile superstars as well, and it resulted in them being suspended and all this kind of stuff. Yes, of course I'm interested in that. That's a massive talking point. But then I think when, the follow-up stuff is just really, he said, she said, they did this, they did that. Like, it's all bitty, and it's all hearsay, and it's all this person's perspective, that person's perspective. I don't know, man. That kind of stuff, just, I'm like, I'm not bothered. Not bothered. Other people can play around with that. Other people can have fun with that. I think the actual incident itself was massive. And then I think that the follow-up has kind of just, there'll be bits that come out, but I think I'm more focused on the future. I mean, he's back now. He's going to be back on Collision. He said he's got a few things to say. I expect him to apologize, to be honest. I expect it. I mean, he's already done it. He's come out and said he knows he could have handled it better, which is understatement of the year. I would go as far as to say everybody could have handled that better. I would go as far as to say I don't know, they could have handled it much worse, unless someone had access to nuclear weapons. But it was yes, we can all confirm it was not handled very well on all parts. And but he's back now. He's back now, and for me, it moves on, and this will soon be like old news. As obviously, we move on to the next thing. So, yeah, the interview, I skimmed it, I read it, I didn't take loads from it. But I saw, like, as I said, Meltzer trending. There's people that really love that. There's people that really enjoy that kind of part of wrestling, It's fascinating, isn't it? That people enjoy that stuff, and that Meltzer is trending. People seem to have really strong opinions of Dave Meltzer. I mean, I think that his star ratings can be a bit wacky. I think that it is quite interesting how he seems to favor AEW style matches over WWE matches. That could just genuinely be that AEW is more to his taste than what WWE give. It might not actually be that he's got a vendetta, right? But I think WWE fans think that he does. And then there's even some AEW fans that don't like him as well, because he seems to cause a bit of trouble. And even he's been a little bit outspoken about AEW sometimes. So I don't know. It gets a bit weird when like the wrestling journalists become like a big part of the story. It starts to become a bit like Inception. It starts to become a bit strange. So that, you know, it's normally around that time I'm like, it's time for me to leave. Gaming in Real Time said, hello, everyone. I think Jay kicks Roman. Ugh. Like that. Runs up to him. Ugh. Gives him a little kick, runs off. I'd love to see that. I think you could be right. He could come in. He could give him a little... one of those. Extreme Wrestling Federation, EWF. 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 Do you remember from the White Rabbit source codes? Do I remember from the White Rabbit source codes? There was a few things in the White Rabbit source codes. I remember Aleister Black's lyrics were in the White Rabbit source codes. There was also a reference to someone from Reddit in the White Rabbit source codes. I think there was a saying in there as well. There was a line which I can't recall that was in there, but there was a few things in there. What's up? EWF. What specifically was you referencing, bud? Robbie said, I'm heading down to London for Smackdown. Yes, and Money in the Bank. I'm going to pop into Wrestling Shop. Great toy hunt video. I'm glad you enjoyed it, dude. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was one that's like not full of lols, because to be honest, as I said earlier, it was, and if I do a toy hunt, if I go to Smith's, I will try and make it lol, full of lols. But to be honest, I just haven't done one in so long, and there was so much stuff. I couldn't help but be like, oh my God, look at this. Oh my God, look at that. Oh my God, look at this. Oh my God, look at that. I mean, like, that was the first time I'd seen that Finn Balor figure in person. And I say it in the actual video. I get asked a lot, like, oh, what are the great wrestling figures at the moment? Having that Finn Balor in my hand, I think, what was it? Elite Series 98, 96. Actually having it in my hand, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. That figure is amazing. It's amazing. It's him as the demon. He's got this amazing headdress, like entrance gear. He's got all the paint on his body, face paint as well. Couldn't see the back, to be honest. Couldn't see what the back was like, but normally the back's quite detailed. And you're looking at it, and compared to, say, I don't know, Sonya Deville, that just looks, I mean, she looks fine, but it's, what is there to Sonya Deville? She's just got like an entrance jacket on, whatever. And then you're looking at this thing that's just dripping with detail. And you're like, oh my God, this figure is amazing. This is amazing. So I mean, I just couldn't help but go, oh my God, look at this. Oh my God, look at that. I did watch it back, and I was like, oh man, should I make this funnier? I really feel like I should try and make this funnier, but I just wanted to show all the stuff that was available at the moment. There's some genuinely amazing action figures that are available at the moment. So I'm pleased you enjoyed it, dude. Thank you. And yes, pop into Wrestling Shop Live. Again, I know I'm going to be talking about it a lot, and I'm sorry if you've heard me mention it a lot, but I really don't want to stand there on my own. So it is the Thursday and the Friday that I will be there. Wrestling Shop runs from, is it the 28th of June to the 2nd? It's the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Maybe even the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm only there Thursday, Friday because I need to be back here to do the Money in the Bank stream. That's it. If I didn't have to come back to do that, I'd stay there for the weekend. But I've got to come back to do the Money in the Bank stream. So I'm there Thursday, Friday. Wednesday is a day they're really setting up, to be honest. Plus also, if you're coming down for Money in the Bank, I've got to think you're not going to arrive by Wednesday. So Thursday, Friday are the days that I'm doing. And Mattel are going to be there on the Friday, Saturday, so you can speak to Bill McKenna. Bill McKenna will be there. And they're trying to get a wrestler. And apparently Mattel are going to show off new figures as well. New figures being shown by Mattel. And also Wrestling Shop are trying to bring in some figures that haven't come out in the UK yet. They're trying to do that. So there's so much going on. And there's going to be even more than that as well. So really it's in the words of Gorilla Monsoon, it's a happening. It's a happening. Extreme Wrestling said, I meant to say me. I meant to say me. Hang on, what's this code? What's this code? In the source code, Do you remember in the source code for White Rabbit? I remember in the source code for White Rabbit, I meant to say me. Oh, was that in the source code? I meant to say me. Hang on, you've got me all confused here. In the source code for White Rabbit, there was a few different things. As we said, there was the lyrics to Alistair Black. There was a reference to someone that was on Reddit, which was kind of cool because there was a whole Reddit group that were trying to work out the Funhouse, the White Rabbit thing, and Bray was just sort of, I think, letting them know he was aware of like the fans doing this. So he just called out someone that was on Reddit. So that he mentioned them in the source code, or they got a mention in the source code, which was cool. And then there was something else as well. I don't think it was I meant to say me. I don't remember seeing that before. But don't super chat it, but I might need you to be a little clearer because I'm still not with you yet. Abdel Hamid, shout out to you. Abdel Hamid said, God bless you, Days, and you. I wish Edge would get a chance for the world title and Cena will come back and break the records and be cashed in on the same nights. Okay. For me personally, I'm not too worried about Cena breaking that record. I know many people want to see it, and if it happens, fine. My feeling on it is that I would rather see someone that's still competing on a regular basis break that record. I think had Cena not left for Hollywood, he would have done it, and that's his choice. He chose to start winding down and to pursue Hollywood. I think if he hadn't have done that and had held on a few more years, he would have got that extra world title. He would have done it. So I sort of look at Cena and I think, well, you've sort of chosen to not do that. That's your choice, because I really think he would have done it. And I think that we would have seen him break it. That's why I'm interested in seeing someone do it that's still around that can benefit from it. And do you know who I think that person will be? I think it'll be Charlotte. Charlotte's on 14. So I know people aren't going to count it. I know like people will be like, oh, it's not the same. But that won't stop WWE from making a massive deal out of it. You know, she's on 14 at the moment. And if she then goes on to break that, then they've got a superstar they can say has won more world titles than anyone else in the history of wrestling. She's beaten her father. And listen, if you was to ask Ric Flair, who do you want to beat your records? He'll say Charlotte within a flipping. He won't even think about it. He'll say it before you finish the question. So I can see Charlotte doing it. I can see a lot of people going, yeah, it doesn't count. Male-wise, I really don't know. I thought Randy could be the one. I thought Randy could go on to do it. But he has obviously picked up that injury. He's still, I think, 3 away from tying. I think he's on 13 or 14. I know he's 3 away from either tying or beating it. So I can't see that happening. I can't see it happening now. Before, I was like, yeah, we could do it with Randy. We could do it with Randy. He's there or thereabouts. But I think, you know, he's kind of getting to the end of his career, unfortunately. I do expect him to return, but I don't know that it's going to be to win world titles. I saw that Extreme Wrestling Federation, EWF, said Daniel NCFC15. That was me from the source code. Right. I've got you now. Wow, very cool. Very, very cool. That must have been awesome to because I think you got like a lot of followers on Twitter and stuff as people were working it out. I would imagine you had quite a buzz around you at that time with people like, why has he referenced this person? Because going into the source code and everything, I mean, that was picked up by, I mean, that was everywhere. That wasn't just like one or two people talking about it. There was a lot of people that were really engaged with the White Rabbit stuff. So to be mentioned in there, I think is really, really cool. So I don't know if that group is still going. I mean, I don't know if that group evolved into like a Bray kind of discussion, and maybe they were talking about Howdy and trying to work out who was Uncle Howdy and where the story was going. I'm sure that there are those discussions open on Reddit. I don't know if you still partake in those, but doesn't matter, does it? I mean, you got probably the best outcome out of it as you could ever hope for, to actually get mentioned in the source code. So that is really cool. Quinn said Bray is never gonna be what he was. Get over it. Bray is never, ever, ever getting back together. We could have sung that when he was not sure who he was. When he was like, I've moved on. I'm not that person anymore. Bray is never, ever, ever getting back together. It's a Taylor Swift song, by the way. Right, let's make sure that we are all caught up with the super chat. No, we're not. We're not. I've only got to miss Sean's, who's been super generous as always. Sean, shout out to you, buds. Hope you're well. Sean says, thoughts on the Cross AJ storyline. To me, Cross needs this win in the overall feud. If it was me, I would like to see Cross Scarlett slowly take out OC Meechin, finalizing in a hard-fought but victorious one-on-one match over AJ. Sean, shout out to you, buds. Really, really appreciate the support. Thoughts on Cross AJ storyline. So I think that I think both need this. I don't think just Cross. I think AJ needs it. AJ doesn't need the win, right? AJ can be bigger. He can win more world titles, main event more shows. He absolutely can be bigger. But I think he's already big in the eyes of the fans. What he has already done in WWE, Impact, New Japan, we were talking a bit about earlier. I think he is very much in a place where he's got the respect of the fans. People know that he can deliver bangers. There's a lot of, as you said, respect for him. But actually, accomplishment-wise, he can get bigger and he can get more main events, and he should, right? But I don't think he needs the win, because this is not something that if he loses, it's going to hold him down or hold him back. He could easily lose this and then very quickly find himself going into a title match against Seth Rollins. Like, this wouldn't be a problem for him to lose. Probably not the title match because he's on SmackDown, isn't he? But he could have a title match against Roman or something. And he could find himself getting that even in defeat. So I understand that AJ fans would want AJ to win. I totally understand that. But I agree with you. I think Cross really needs to get going, because Cross started a little feud with Ray, ended up losing it. When he first came in, he started a feud with Drew, ended up losing that. Then I think he turned his attention to Ray, and I remember them having a match and he lost that. Then didn't he pick on like Nakamura? And I think he lost to Nakamura just before the draft. So I just feel like Carrion is this interesting character who embraces the darker side of things, tarot cards, and you got that big entrance, and you've got Scarlett being all mysterious. But for some reason, they just have not got going with him. They've put him in a few feuds. They've had him do a few promos. They've had him do a few vignettes, but we have just not pulled the trigger on him yet. We just have not got that momentum going. A statement win over AJ could do it. I mean, to be honest, you could have him lose to AJ and just wait and pull the trigger at some point, because once you pull the trigger on Carrion, I would say that's when you've got to keep going. So if he's going to beat AJ, then whatever happens next, he needs to win that as well. You can't do stop-start. You can't do this 50-50 rubbish, right? If you're going to start doing something with Carrion, start doing something. Have him beat AJ. And then if he goes into his next feud, he's got to win that as well. He's got to win that as well. But that is more important than him beating AJ, I think. Because if he loses to AJ, well, okay, that's fine. It was AJ. It's a credible person to lose to. There's no shame there. There's no problem there. But it still means we haven't quite started with him. We haven't got that momentum going yet. But once we do start that momentum, you've really got to commit to it. You've really got to keep going with it. And I think that's the more important thing. But I would have him beat AJ. I think AJ can take losses. I think that he is someone that is hopefully going to start having more singles matches. I think what AJ needs are bangers. I think actually more important than the results, AJ needs to reestablish himself as one of the best in-ring competitors. I feel like if you was to ask people who's the best in-ring performer, they will give you answers like Seth and AJ will be mentioned, but it's just been a while. It's just been a while. I just have not seen a banger out of AJ in a while. And I know that he's missed a lot of this year because of the ankle injury. Totally understandable. But, you know, you can go back last year. You can go, obviously, when he was teaming with Omos. But you can go back last year. You can even look at his match with Seth from this year. I can't find the bangers. I can't find them. It's been a while. It's been a good few years. And I think that for me, what I'm looking from AJ are bangers. I want him to deliver bangers and, yeah, give the result to Carrion. That could get Carrion up and running. But as I said, more importantly, make sure you follow up with it. Make sure you back Carrion. Make sure Carrion is up and running if he does get the win. So, yeah, I don't mind the feuds. I really don't mind the feuds. I think they're both in need of something. I think what they both need is slightly different. I think Carrion needs wins. I think AJ needs performances. I think both of them need singles matches. Both of them need to be featured. And so having them go up against each other makes a lot of sense. So we'll see what we get tonight from this mixed tag match, because hopefully it'll be fun. You know, hopefully it'll be a good little match that whets the appetite and we want to see more. I'm sure will achieve that. And then, as we said, you know, we'll see where we go from here. Who knows? Maybe Money in the Bank. We'll see that one-on-one match. Perhaps AJ against Carrion at Money in the Bank, because neither of them are in the ladder match. So why not do it there? AJ Styles, Karrion Kross, Money in the Bank, and hopefully, fingers crossed, banger alert, banger alert. It needs to be a full-blown banger alert. That's what I'd be looking for. It's going to be hard, though, because I don't associate bangers with Carrion. I don't think Carrion is... It's not that he's not capable. I just don't think that I've seen any. Even down in NXT, his matches were relatively short, and I can't remember, like, amazing bangers. I remember some good matches, but I can't remember, like, oh my God, this is amazing. I just can't remember ever feeling that way when I watch a Carrion match. I think his entrance is good. I think his gimmick is quite strong, obviously. A good look, as we said. Promo-wise, I think is pretty good. Don't think he's amazing, but he can talk. He's quite comfortable on the microphone. In-ring, tidy, fine, some big power moves. Looks the part, as we said, but I don't know that that's ever been put together and delivered a match that I've gone, oh my God, I need to watch that again. And listen, you know, as we said, AJ, it's been a while, so good. I'm down for it. Good feud. Who do you think will be the last Money in the Bank entrant, says A Day with Jai? I don't know where that's coming from, to be honest. Have they announced? I mean, is that what the Zelina... That's not the Zelina EO match, is it? Because they're in it. So I don't know where... I don't know if I'm meant to be looking at Raw, or if I'm looking at SmackDown. I don't know where it's meant to... This person's meant to be coming from. I don't know that that's actually been clarified. So if they're just going to leave it as a mystery person up till the actual show, then I've got to think it's some sort of big return, big legend. Maybe Trish puts herself in it, something along those lines. I mean, I'll tell you the one person that I thought would make it on the card that hasn't yet, and that's, at least I don't think they have, Tegan Knox, because she is Welsh, and she just missed out on Clash at the Castle. And they brought her back not long after Clash at the Castle, right? And so now we're going to London. I know it's not Wales, but it's very close, obviously. Good, just a few hours in the car you can get from Wales to London. And so her family would easily be able to travel and watch her perform, her friends as well. O2 Arena. She wasn't at Clash at the Castle. I don't know. I mean, it just seems like it's right there. I mean, there's a fair few. I mean, you could always go. I mean, you got Nikki, you got Doudrop. There's quite a few women actually from the UK who you could drop in. I don't think there's any massive females, though. I don't think there's any females. There's no Pages, for example. There's no one along those lines. But there's quite a few women from the UK. There's a few guys around from the UK, actually, as well. I mean, NXT UK has massively pumped a lot of UK talent into the WWE system. And a lot of that talent has seemingly done quite well. As we said, Doudrop. You already had Drew, obviously, around. Butch, Ridge, Alba Fire, Isla Dawn. The list goes on. So, I don't know. I mean, if you was looking at Money in the Bank in London, you'd probably be looking at some of those people to try and see how can I get them on the card, because that's always going to play well to the crowd. I wouldn't be surprised if some of those... I wouldn't be surprised if they put them in like a pre-show match. Tried to find a way of getting like some... I don't know. Could you do Isla, Alba, Nikki, and Doudrop in a team? That would be really interesting. They're all Scottish. Isn't that random? We've got 4 Scottish women on the main roster. Scotland. Literally nothing comes out of Scotland apart from depression. So that'd be an interesting team. We could put all 4 of them in a team. Ronda, Shayna, and some other people against them. When I can't even remember when that tag match is. Is that on Raw? Is it, or is that no? It's on SmackDown, isn't it? It's on SmackDown in a few weeks' time. Perhaps that's next week. Perhaps what they're doing is they're going to put Isla Alba on the SmackDown that's going to come from London. That would make sense. That also makes sense. Not only have you got Money in the Bank, you've got the SmackDown the night before, haven't you? So I can imagine they're putting a lot of talent onto that show to get the crowd fired up, get the crowd ready. That makes sense. But anyway, yeah, who's that last person? I don't know. I don't know where I'm meant to be looking. It could be anyone from Raw, from SmackDown. But I would be looking at like someone from the UK. Or if not, a legend like Trish. Right, let's go. Am I up to speed? No. Let's go down. Right, Ryan Gambler said, Days, how are you? What's next for Theory? And where is Lashley? Haven't seen him in a while. Thanks again for the stream, everything you do. No worries. Lashley, I don't think he's injured or anything. I'm not aware of him being injured. I can have a look at the roster, which should give us information if he is. Nope. No, nothing. So I just don't think they've got anything for him at the moment. In regards to what's next for Austin Theory, he is... Did someone confront him? Someone confronted him, didn't they? He is... Who confronted him? Someone confronted him. Just looking down. Am I remembering that right? Theory was in the ring and someone came out and made their their presence known. And I remember saying, okay, this could be all right. I can't remember. Sheamus, thank you. Sheamus confronted him. That was not coming to me. I was like, someone confronted him, and I can't remember who it was now, but I distinctly remember someone coming out, and I remember going, this could be all right. Yeah, so Sheamus seemingly next for Austin Theory, which, I mean, that's going to be more than all right, isn't it? That could be a bona fide banger. So very much looking forward to that. And actually, that'll be really good for Theory, because one thing Theory is really good at is selling. Theory is really good at, like, being chucked around, bumping around, and against someone like Sheamus, who's obviously very big, very physical, and dare I say, a bit more entertaining than Bobby. I think Sheamus, as we've seen with him and talking about his bangers and the great matches he's been having, he is very, very capable of having some very impressive matches. Whereas with Bobby, you just don't tend to see that sort of match quality. So I think this is going to be a great dancing partner for Theory. I think this is going to be really good for him. Maybe the ideal opponent at the moment, because, as we said, you know, Sheamus coming off that great Intercontinental match at WrestleMania, great matches with Drew, great match against Gunther at SummerSlam. He is just really been putting in bangers. I mean, banger after banger after banger. And now he's got to try and do it again with Theory, and I think he will. So that'll be awesome. Excited for that. Bobby Lashley, no sign or word of injury, or certainly nothing that I've seen. I just don't think they've got anything for him at the moment. There's a few that are missing. Same with Drew. Drew's out the picture at the moment. So there's a few that we're just waiting to see what they're going to do with. But I think they're just dialed in to Money in the Bank at the moment and just getting that over the line. So once we're done with that, we could see some returns. And who knows? I mean, Drew could rock up at Money in the Bank. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the show starts and then out comes Adam Pearce and a seventh person is added. It could be Logan. It could be Drew. Drew McIntyre could come back and get inserted into Money in the Bank. So, or we might wait until like the Raw or the SmackDown after. So, Ryan Gambler, shout out to you, but really good questions. And as we said, we're just waiting to find out on Bobby, and Sheamus and Theory should be awesome. Jake Campbell, shout out to you, buds. Again, massively appreciate the support. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to everyone joining us. Bruce says hello. Hello, Bruce. Jake said, Cross won't unlock full potential until he's put with Bray, in my opinion. There is a match that's made in heaven. Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't disagree that would be a very good match. I think you can unlock Carrion without Bray. I don't think you need Bray to have Carrion really getting somewhere. In fact, I would argue that you kind of need Carrion to get somewhere before he faces Bray, because then you would have these two dark worlds colliding, which I think could, as you said, would be a match made in, well, hell, really. So, yeah, if you've got the dark world of Bray and you've got the dark world of Carrion and Scarlett, I mean, imagine Bray and Alexa against Carrion and Scarlett. And who knows, maybe that was a plan, but now Alexa's pregnant and we don't know what's happening with Bray. Maybe this is why we're sat twiddling our thumbs with Carrion, because what we did have planned for him has gone out the window and we can't do that now. That's a match which definitely I'd be excited to see, down for seeing. I think that could be really entertaining. But I think you want to build up Carrion's dark world. You want to explore his dark world. You want him to have some banging matches so that you can really build the excitement of when he then faces Bray. So I I like him against AJ. I think he needs to get some momentum going, and then that's when we can drop him in against Bray, and as you say, reap the rewards. Which, I agree would be good. It'd be a good feud for Bray. It'd be a good feud for Carrion. Both of these two big, I mean, they're both big guys. They both embrace the darker side of things. And you could maybe make the argument it would be too much darkness, too much weirdness. It would be like maybe too much. Like maybe it works better if someone normal is falling into Bray's worlds and they're scared, because I can't see Carrion being intimidated. So if Carrion's not going to be scared or intimidated, is it going to work as well? I don't know. I want to see it. I'd be down for it. But obviously we just don't know what's happening with Bray, do we? There's a lot of unknowns at the moment in WWE. There's a lot of stuff which we just don't know where it's heading or what's going on with it. I mean, Bray, we haven't seen him since the end of February. I think we saw Howdy attack Bobby in early March, like the first week of March. And that was the last thing we saw of Bray at all. And Bray wasn't even a part of that segment. It was Howdy. I think last time we saw Bray was February. I mean, it's middle of June now. It's been a while. He was meant to have that match with Bobby at WrestleMania. And so it's kind of crazy how it's been so long and we haven't heard anything. I mean, it has been months and months and months. But whatever he's going through, hopefully it's going to get sorted and he finds his way back soon. Right, here we go. We're about to get underway with SmackDown. Let's see what they've got for us this week. Last time we saw Bray was a Bizarre Funhouse segment where he had Bobby doing the dance, says JB. Brent said, hope you're well. I'm good, bud. Hope you're well as well. Are you an Elton John fan? I like a bit of Elton John. I wouldn't say I'm like a crazy big fan. I have seen him live just because he's a legend. I like some of his songs. And he was coming to the city that I live, and it was like, yeah, should we go? Yeah, it'd be a fun night out. If I'd have missed it, it wouldn't have been the end of the world. But I have been to see him live. Yeah, I like Elton John. I probably prefer like David Bowie more, and the Beatles and the Stones and Led Zeppelin and things like that. But I like Elton John. Saturday's All Right for Fighting is going to be Collision's intro theme, is it? Saturday. I like it. It's a bit out the box, but a cool choice. What's been your favorite show intro? To be honest, it might be the very first Raw theme, which was just not that great. I'll even admit it wasn't that great, but it has got such nostalgia for me. I think the worst one I've heard is, are you ready for a good time? Dun, dun. Are you ready for a good... I just thought it was just boring. I really didn't think it worked for the show. I just really wasn't into that at all. And that's obviously a very recent one. But the first Raw one, where you've got like it's just like some drums and it's got like a siren going off, and there's not really a great deal to it, but it just summed up what the show was meant to be. It was meant to be live, it was meant to be raw, it was meant to be like anything could happen. It had a bit of a New York sort of vibe to it, because we were in the Manhattan Center as well at the time. And I just remember watching that as a kid. I mean, like, when your favorite show's starting, you always get excited. So that is one that always sticks with me. But I gotta admit, I think the vast majority of them show opens for Raw and SmackDown have been awful. I think they've been awful. We're just getting a recap at the moment. I think at WrestleMania 40, we get Alexa and Bray against Carrion and Scarlett, says Alex Bliss Gamer. Alex Bliss Gamer, hope you're well. Shout out to you. We're just seeing what happened last week with Solo and Jimmy and Jay and the super kick. So it's just a recap package at the moment. Dab in that disco inferno, said Godfather. So please address the rumors. WWE Carlito and Hook. Taz is not on good terms with WWE. RIP original Doink. There are rumors that Carlito has signed. Apparently he was meant to do a house show and they've had to cancel it because, and their words are, Carlito has re-signed with WWE. Which, considering how great a reaction he got at Backlash and how good he looked at Backlash, I could totally believe. So yeah, I think there's a good chance we do see Carlito coming in. I don't know how you use him. I'm guessing you put him with like Los Lotharios maybe or something like that. I don't know that you use him as a solo star. Will Jey Uso fall in line? The bloodline arrive. Here is Roman. Bloodline are here. Well, Roman is here. Solo is here. Is Heyman. So Kayla wants an update on Jey. Heyman, no comments. So no comment from Heyman. Will Jey Uso fall in line? I really think we get the answer on that tonight. I think I don't think this is going to be another week where we tease it and we don't know. I think we get the answer on it. Right. Is it the gauntlet match that we're going to start with? Because the Street Profits are coming out. Right, here's the Profits. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, who are they facing? Not great for them to be coming out at number 1. So this gauntlet match is easily going to eat up, well, at least the first half hour. Hit Row. Hit Row. They're not even in this, are they? The other teams are going to be ringside. Hit Row are in this. When did Hit Row get added? I swear Hit Row were not in this. Right, it's going to be the Brawling Brutes. Wow, Hit Row are heels. It's Fight Night times 5, because that's how many teams you've got to beat. Okay. Brawling Brutes. I'm really confused by... I'm really confused by Hit Row being there. I know I shouldn't be, because they're a tag team, but I swear they weren't on the graphic. Timothy said, where is Rikishi? At home, probably having a beer. Maybe in the garden, playing with the dog. I don't have a Rikishi tracker. But there's been a few thoughts about bringing him in. There's been a few times where it's looked like we could do that. I don't know that we're going to do that. I don't know that it's ever going to happen. But it'd be pretty fun if it was. Certainly with the Usos kind of not on the same page at the moment, like their dad could come in and try and help them get on the same page. But I don't know that we're going that way, to be honest. I can't say I've seen any mention of him or rumor that he's going to get involved. Right, let's go down. Brad says, hello, how are you? I really hope they don't drag out the Bloodline story. I really think it ends tonight, or at least at Money in the Bank. My favorite intro was the Union Underground Across the Nation for Raw in the 2000. That was a perfect song for me, says Brenton. Is Kayla dating Paul Heyman? No, but we should definitely get that rumor going. Definitely spread it around. Gauntlet match, let's go, said Kieran. Trini, shout out to you. Tim, hello as well. Top Dollar, the legends. Bishop said, what's going on with Gable Steveson? The last I heard was that he wanted to go to the Olympics to try and win another gold, but WWE weren't allowing it or weren't interested in him going off to do that. They want him to get going and get started. He's had an injury, which has been something that he's had to deal with and has stalled his training. There was a rumor that the training was not going very well. Don't know how true that is. Clearly things are not going to plan, because there's no way that you would show him at WrestleMania 38, SummerSlam in 2022, and no, 2021, and at WrestleMania. And don't forget, he was part of the draft as well. Not this draft, the last draft. There's no way you would do all that and still not have debuted him. So it's clear things have not been going to plan, but it's Sheamus and the Brawling Brutes have picked up the first victory. So next team is going to be Brawling Brutes versus OC. So this is Ridge and Sheamus that are in there against Gallows and Anderson now. Street Profits dealt with very quickly. Very quickly. So Gauntlet match continues. Street Profits. That's a real bad showing for them. That's a real bad showing. Timothy said the rumor is that Michael Cole is in love with Bayley. Let's go. I heard the reverse. I heard Bayley is in love with Michael Cole. That's why she's constantly talking about him and dissing him. You know, it's that kind of when you're at school and you really like someone, but you're confused by it. I believe she's going through that at the moment. So, yeah, it's... I want to see Bayley versus Michael Cole, to be honest. I don't know that you would do that at WrestleMania, but you could if Bayley doesn't have... If she's not competing for a title and there's not like a match like her and EO that's needed, if she's just not got a lot going on, say Damage Control have split up, EO's moved on to something else, Dakota Kai's moved on to something else, Bayley needs an opponent for WrestleMania, I would love to see her start really picking on Michael Cole, turning that up, saying that she wants him to put his streak on the line, because obviously he's 1-0. He technically beat Jerry the King Lawler at WrestleMania, and so she could tell him to put his streak on the line. And I just think that'd be so much fun. I think that'd be so much fun. I'm really not into the idea of intergender wrestling, but I think where you've got a wrestler like Bayley in her prime, and then you've got a boomer who's not a wrestler, who's not in his prime, I can vibe with that. I've got no problem with that. I think a prime Bayley against a clearly not prime Michael Cole, that's a match that I can vibe with, and it's a match that Bayley should win. I would not have Michael Cole get the dub. Imagine if he did. Imagine if Michael Cole managed to somehow get past Bayley and keep the streak alive. Imagine how Bayley would react to that, and imagine how Michael Cole could taunt her. I've never thought about that. I've thought about them doing that match, but I've never thought about giving Michael Cole like a DQ win. Say Bayley like goes and grabs a chair, or like is beating up on Michael Cole, laughing away. Referee comes over, she pushes the referee. Referee goes down and just disqualifies her, and she loses by DQ. That could be cool. That could be fun. Yeah, I'm really into that match. So I'm quite happy to start the rumors that Michael Cole and Bayley are in love. But more than that, I'd love to see a match between them. AB Jobson says, bye, Street Profits. Scott Turner said, Street Profits are gone, and now it's the OC's time. The wrestling guy said, can you do Money in the Bank 2013 on Thursday or Sunday? Am I? Well, I can't do it Sunday because I already know that I've got some stuff lined up for that. And I can't remember when I go to London. Is that like next week? Is that next week or 2 weeks? Sorry, I don't know. I need to have a look. I don't know when I'm free, to be honest. Timothy said, WWE should hire you for creative. These are just ideas everyone has at some point, I'd imagine. You know, these aren't anything special. But that would be so much fun. I think a lot of people want to see Bayley and Michael Cole because they've been at each other for years and years and years. She's been giving him grief for years. One of the first things she said was, Michael Cole, you douche, I'm coming, as soon as it was announced she was heading to SmackDown. So yeah, I'd love to see that. But to be honest, her against Io or her against Dakota, those are matches that we're sure to get as well. And it might make more sense to build towards those. I wonder if you could even do a triple threat. I wonder if like you could have all three members of Damage Control like going at each other, and then you do Io versus Dakota versus Bayley at WrestleMania. That could be kind of fun. Again, I'm not crazy about triple threat matches, but if there's no title on the line, or there's no if there's no title being defended, I should say, then I am much more into them. But I always think if you're the champ and you've got to defend against other people and you can lose your belt without being pinned, like it's such an unfair disadvantage. The only time that for me makes sense is if you are a heel and you have caused loads of trouble and there's loads of people that want you to get their hands on you. And WWE then make that match as a bit of a you shouldn't have done it punishment. Then it makes sense. Because you did that to yourself, basically. You know, if you're Austin Theory and you're getting involved in loads of other people's matches and you've upset a load of people, and Adam Pearce turns around and is like, well, now you'll have to defend against all of them in a fatal five-way at WrestleMania. It's your fault. That makes sense then. I can vibe with that. That's his own fault. He's got himself into that predicament. But I keep coming back to Big E at day one. Big E at day one was a joke. He had I think it was a normal match that became a triple threat. And he was like, yeah, more the merrier. Then it became a fatal four-way. And he was like, okay, yeah, no, bring it on. I love a challenge. And then on the day of the show, it got turned to a fatal five-way. None of this was Big E's fault. Got turned into a fatal five-way. And he was like, listen, it's a mountain, but I love challenges. I love to try and climb mountains. It's an obstacle. I'm here to overcome obstacles. It was so... I mean, I really feel like you could have put 20-odd people in that match and he would have been like, yep, we can do this. It's like, no, you're getting screwed. You are getting screwed over. You are going to lose your title and you're going to do it with a smile on your face, seemingly. I thought that was a really bad look for Big E. But, and he did lose his title. He lost it to Brock. So, the OC have gone as well. I can tell you that Sheamus has managed to hit a brogue and pick up the win. So we're down to Brawling Brutes, LWO, Pretty Deadly, and Hit Row, who were never in this match. They were not in this match. They were not on the graphic. But Brawling Brutes are still in there. It is Brawling Brutes against LWO. Right. Holland, belly to belly. I've got an idea. They should use eliminations in triple threat, says Chastity Plum. Yeah, I could vibe with that a lot more. That's much better. Actually doing it so that the champion still has to be beaten. Hit Rose time. So Brawling Brutes have managed to get past LWO. And now it's Hit Row. 1, 2, 3. Hit Row have gone already. Hit Row. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing, isn't it? I don't even know if their music finished. Hit Row. Oh, it's beaten. They are getting buried, but they're getting buried to the point where it is hilarious. Hilarious. Happened is someone went, you know that you've not included Hit Row in the gauntlet? And they're like, oh, God, but we ain't got time. I'm like, no, don't worry about it. Just put them in there for a few seconds. Just have them sit at ringside and then just put them in. We'll play the music. Then literally 2 seconds later, broke, they're done. Okay, yeah, we can do that. We can find 2 seconds from somewhere. Hit Row. By the time Hit Row were beaten, LWO had only just got back to their feet from their loss, and they were just starting to make their way up the entrance ramp, and Hit Row had already had their match and lost. Hit Row. Is this meant to build sympathy, do you reckon? Because I just think this is hilarious. I just think it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I don't know if I'm meant to sit here going, I can't believe they're burying Top Dollar. I can't believe they're doing this to Ashanti the Adonis. I don't mind Ashanti. And do you know what? I think my problem is Top Dollar. I think my problem is with Top Dollar. And I don't even know what my problem is with Top Dollar. I've never liked Hit Row. I've never thought they were cool. I always thought they tried too hard. But I think B-Fab's got an interesting look. Ashanti the Adonis is not offensive in any way. He doesn't do anything to offend. There's nothing to the guy. I don't think I've ever heard him speak. So you've got Ashanti who's just there. I mean, you can't be offended by Ashanti. You've got B-Fab, who looks great. She's got a very cool look with the dreads and everything, and she looks cool. So I can only imagine my problem is with Top Dollar. And I have no idea what my problem is with Top Dollar, because I liked him when he was doing the hosting of the Most Wanted Treasures. He was good. But, yeah, I don't know. There's something about him that just instinctively I just find a bit cringe. Sorry, Top Dollar. WWE should push Hit Row just to troll the fans, said Chris. That match was as long as Roman's entrance, says Roman. I think they could be something if they got the kind of creative behind them. Like Hit Row could be a fine lower mid-card team. Michael said Top Dollar is WWE Championship material. Only if we were making the belt out of him, right? That's the only way I can see him being WWE Championship material, is if he is literally like somehow crushed down and then actually used to make the actual belt itself. Then I would agree his championship material. But Top Dollar gets bullied for no reason, said Hagen-Dazs. I don't even know why. I'm not going to stop. I can't tell. I mean, this must be how bullies at school feel sometimes. You know, it's like they pick on a kid and they don't know why, but they're not going to stop doing it because they enjoy it. That's me. That's me. I don't know why. I just feel this way about Top Dollar, but I do. Right, Pretty Deadly against Brawling Brutes. Rivi, shout out to you. Zoom Station said Flop Dollar couldn't cut it on the Redskins either. Why does Top Dollar always wear life jackets? It's because he's drowning, mate, all the time. That's why. It's ever since he botched, says NYC Mano War. Not for me. I've never liked Hit Row. Even when they were in NXT, I was quite vocal about it. I just said I've always found them to be... It's like WWE wanted a hip-hop group. And then they've put these people together that I think, you know, they have got an interest in hip-hop. And I think they can, you know, they can do rapping. And so you put them in a group. And then they just seem to come out. And the way they walk and the money and all this kind of stuff. It all seems like it's people trying to be cool. It seems like people... I mean, honestly, if you had a proper legit hip-hop group come out, it wouldn't be like... They just... I really don't think they would do the kind of things that Hit Row do. It's just so phony and fabricated that it doesn't feel authentic to me. And that is straight away a barrier. But I do believe that they are all into hip hop. I do believe that they are trying to, you know, legitimately portray what they think a hip hop group would look like. And one of the interesting things as well is I heard Triple H and Shawn do an interview where they said they weren't going to get involved with Hit Row and their entrance and all that stuff because they want it to feel genuine. It was so weird because I'd made this comment when I'd watched him in NXT that it didn't feel genuine. And then I read that Triple H and Shawn didn't want to touch it because they wanted it to feel genuine. And I was like, no way. No way. Because it doesn't feel genuine right now. And you're telling me that Shawn and Triple H have had nothing to do with this. Maybe that's true. Maybe that's not true. But either way, like, I think if they were... to cut the money stuff and all this kind of phony stuff, I think I could feel a little bit more. You'd never see them have honest conversations. You know, you see them rapping backstage and everything, but I don't think I really ever see them like just legit having like a conversation, actually like interacting as real people would. I think there's a lot you could do with Hit Row to make them feel a bit more credible. I think that's it. I think to me, they just feel like they're lacking a bit of credibility. So, yeah, I don't disagree that you couldn't do something with them, get somewhere with them, but I don't think what we're doing at the moment is working. Right, we are down to Pretty Deadly and Brawling Brutes, and I think this is the final, really, of this. I did say Pretty Deadly beforehand because they are the only heel team. I'm going to stick with it. Obviously, Hit Row got added. They're a heel team, but that didn't go very well. Irish Curse, Backbreakers by Sheamus. Sheamus, rolling senton. Bang. He's doing well at the moment with Pretty Deadly. Now, don't forget, could we see Theory get involved? The reason I say that is because Sheamus is in a feud or confronted Theory. We know that Pretty Deadly are working with Theory as well. So Theory very much features in this encounter. So I'm wondering if Theory is going to get involved, cost Sheamus, allow Pretty Deadly to get the win. 1, 2, double axe handle. Prince makes the save. Timothy said, what are your thoughts on Breaker versus Rollins? Love it. I think it's good. I think it's fun. It's going to make NXT even bigger. Don't forget, we do NXT watch-alongs on a Tuesday. They've been great. NXT's been fun for quite a while now, actually. I think it's slowly built itself up to a really good fun watch on a Tuesday. Add in the fact we've got Gold Rush coming up, loads of title matches. And Prince, right, we're going to get some clubbing blows. N beats of the battering here by Sheamus on both members of Pretty Deadly. Elton Prince goes down. We're up to 20 or so. He's still going. So, yeah, to have Seth go down and face Braun. I mean, I don't think Braun will win. I think Seth retains. But it's a fun match, innit? Be a great showcase for Braun. I think Braun as a heel is so much better. I mean, it just makes so much more sense. Celtic cross like a razor's edge. Oh, leg drop from the top. 1, 2, 3. Pretty Deadly win. No Theory. Pretty Deadly pick up the win. There was no sign of Theory. Yes, boy. So it's going to be Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn against Pretty Deadly. So 2 weeks in London, which makes perfect sense because Pretty Deadly are English. Makes perfect sense. 2 weeks in London, undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship match. It's good that we're doing this in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks. Coming up tonight as well, we got Charlotte Flair on the Grayson Waller effect. Will Jey Uso fall in line? That is the question tonight on SmackDown. Will Jey Uso fall in line? As we go to commercial break. They could fire them again. I would love that, says King Yeti. What, Hit Row? Hit Row. I don't want to see him get fired. I don't want to see anyone get fired. I think if, I've said before, I think if you get given a contract, the contract should be honoured. Now, whether they should renew those contracts, that's a different conversation. But I don't want to see anyone get fired. But I think there's definitely something you can do with them. I mean, listen, if you're Hit Row, are you just happy to have a job? Because it weren't that long ago you didn't have one. Right? Whereas you're back, you're on TV, you're earning some money, you're traveling around, seeing the world. You know, perhaps like they're all right with it. I'm sure that they want more. I'm sure that they would love to get wins and be booked better. But I wonder how much of a problem it is, you know? Honestly, I don't think I wouldn't mind at all. Going around the world, seeing the world, getting paid a nice wage, having some figures made, because, you know, they'll have some figures that'll come out, being in the video game, and jobbing, putting other people over. Wouldn't have a problem with that. Lovely. You know what I mean? Go out, go to the bar. Your mates, you know, backstage, I'm sure your mates are going to be like, you know, yeah, I'm good friends with Roman Reigns. Yeah, I hang out quite a bit with Roman, actually, yeah. So I don't know how sorry I need to feel for them. Kojiko, shout out to you. Kojiko said 2018 heel Usos are cooler than Hit Row. That's a big statement. That is a big statement. Next, you'll be saying that 1998 Stone Cold Steve Austin was cooler than Hit Row. Soon you'll be saying that 2000 Rock was cooler than Hit Row. Coach Co, I hope you're well. Tremaine said street clothes, trade, sports, entertainment, MC, square, east, west, north, south, body of water. Breaking news. Zoom Station said you can't fire 2 for a flop dollar. What would we laugh at? That's true. Let him in said Days. I think Jay will fall in line if Roman threatens him. To Heel said Sheamus and Ridge should have won so that they can wrestle in front of the UK crowds. Cody Rhodes said WWE World Heavyweight Championship match, Seth versus Damian Priest, Cody versus Finn. Seth versus Damian Priest, Cody versus Finn. Are those just matches that you want to? We've already had Seth Damian, haven't we? That he answered the open challenge. Brad said, I do like the fact Roman said, wise man, your girlfriend's here. It's perfect. The clip's on YouTube. Cash said, do you think Roman will lose the titles at Money in the Bank? No. I don't even think the titles will be defended at Money in the Bank. I think we could be getting the tag match. Are they still in the ring? Still in the ring? Here's Sammy. So Sammy and Kevin are going to confront. Really thought we was going to move on to something else, but we're continuing with this story at the moment. Sammy and Kevin making their way out. Let him in said, I think Jay will fall in line if Roman threatens him. Do you think Roman will lose titles? I read that one. Did you see the news of Ricochet being a bit frustrated? He doesn't get the same opportunities as Cody and AJ. I didn't see that news, no. Nice reaction. Sammy thanks the crowd. Some congratulations are owed to Pretty Deadly. There's a few boos. Sammy said, I'll be honest, I didn't expect you to win. Yeah. You won 5 minutes ago and you're still celebrating. You've overstayed your welcome by about 5 minutes. Maybe get the hell out of here already. That was cute. We just beat 5 teams. They didn't. They beat 1. How dare you? How dare you come out and interrupt Pretty Deadly? We are the Dandy Highwaymen. I really like Pretty Deadly. They are snacks. They are Dairy Lee Lunchables. They are peanut butter and jelly. They are snacks. Just when you think it's going to end, we'll celebrate even longer. Ha ha ha. Kevin's getting irritated. You're hearing this, aren't you, Kev? Yep. Yep. Is this not bothering you, Kev? You're telling me to calm down, so I'm trying to stay calm. But Kevin's getting worked up. This is a fun little interaction. Sammy said, I think we should do it. They're going down to the ring, so we're going to get a brawl. Pretty Deadly run out the ring. So Kevin and Sammy hit the ring. Pretty Deadly run away. Yes, boy. I mean, a weird segment. It's the kind of thing that you would potentially do like next week, to have a bit of a confrontation between the teams as you continue to build towards the match. But it was all right. It was all right. Okay, we're backstage with Roman and Heyman. Let's see what they've got to say. A tribal chief. He's nervous. Have you spoken with Jay? My tribal chief, have you spoken with Jay? He says when he's the tribal chief, people should reach out to him. I tell you, that's interesting because that sort of confirms what Heyman was saying. Heyman did say to Jay, Roman wants you to be the next tribal chief, and Roman's just sort of confirmed that. Go talk to Jay. I think that's interesting. EO coming out. There's Bailey. Right. Roman has not only his new belt, but the old ones too. That's true. Good spots. 3-belt Roman, says Memphis Depay fanboy. Right, Zelina EO coming up next. That tells you all you need to know about Roman. EO Sky against Zelina Vega. This Monday. Logan Paul returns. Open, oh yeah, forgot open challenge. Seth Rollins, open chat. Seth Rollins is defending on the Monday and the Tuesday. Timothy says, I am the tribal chief. I think that's really interesting from Roman, because I really thought that was a lie. I really thought that when they were telling Jay, Jimmy knows something that you don't, and that is that Roman wants you to be the next tribal chief. I really thought they were just saying that, just like tell him anything, get him back on side. But the way that Roman, I mean, like, there's no real reason for Roman to lie in his personal dressing room in front of Heyman and Solo. And for him to say when Jay is the next tribal chief sort of suggests that that is the truth then. They do see Jay as being the next tribal chief. It wasn't a lie. I think it probably should have been a lie, to be honest. I think they probably should have creatively gone down the road of like, did you tell him he can be the next tribal chief? I did, my tribal chief. And that still didn't do it. No, my tribal chief. I probably would have took it that way. Like, did you lie to him? Did you tell him what I told you to tell him? I did. Did it work? Don't think so. Corey, shout out to you, buds. Corey Johnson, appreciate the support. Juan said, why the commentators say that they need to beat 5 other teams. If it's not for everyone, only the later they start if they win. Yeah, I mean, it's a fun thing for them to say, we just beat 5 other teams. Because they didn't. But they were involved in a match that did feature like 5 other teams. So, you know, it's a fun thing for them to say. Right. Trini says, getting Daisy's attention is luck of the draw, but I'll try. You did it, Trini. You got my attention. But it's gone again now. You needed to put what you needed my attention for. Getting Daisy's attention is look at the draw, but I'll try. You've done it, but now I've got to move on. Wrestle with Andy! Shout out to you, buds. Wrestle with Andy said, Days, all the best people in wrestling have the best characters. LA Knight, Pretty Deadly, and Roman are so entertaining. Wrestle with Andy, shout out to you. Hank says, Days, was Roman versus Jay great or worse? Great or worse? Plus, imagine what if the Usos should challenge for the WWE Universal belts. Could they dethrone Roman? Roman against Jay was fine. It was good. It was not a bad match at all. It was a good story, good build. The match itself, there was, I think when you've got a story when you've got a match that's got a good story behind it, that definitely feels more significant. It adds to the drama of the match. It elevates the match itself. The match matters. And so as a result, the result of the match matters. And so the near falls matter. There's more drama involved. It helps the match. So yeah, it was good. And the match itself, I mean, was good. They faced a few times. The one I'm thinking in particular is their Hell in a Cell offering. So yeah, it was fine. Do I see the Usos beating Roman for the Universal and all those belts? No, I don't. I don't. I think they are a tag team. I can see them having tag matches. I can see them having solo matches, singles matches. I can see them trying, but I can't see them succeeding. Because you've still got Solo that can interfere and get involved. You've still got Heyman as well, who can, slide a belt into the ring, distract a referee. So the numbers are still against the Usos. So I think you can do it so that it's quite close. We've seen that. But, I mean, Drew couldn't get it done. Sammy couldn't get it done. Cody couldn't get it done. I can't see Jimmy or Jay getting it done. Right, we are looking at a ladder match lineup. This is Zelina, Becky, Bailey, Io, and Zoe, and a mystery person. And we don't know who that mystery person is for the ladder match for Money in the Bank. Right now, we've got Zelina against Io. Io slaps Zelina. She jumps on top of her, starts pounding away. Takes the legs away there. Io taking the legs from Zelina. Zelina responds. Against the ropes goes Zelina round the houses. Nice flip over by Io into a drop kick. Zelina goes down. Bailey at ringside. Corey said, I want Bray to return as cult leader. Well, I think the frustrating thing with Bray was that we were at a place where he was really doing stuff like that. He wasn't, I don't think you'll ever get him just be cult leader. I think there's too many other personas. But we were getting him like sat in the rocking chair. We were getting him telling people to run. We potentially was going to get Alexa joining him. Howdy's with him. So he is potentially leading a group, or was on the verge of leading a group. But I can't see him ever just going back to, cult leader Bray, and that's it. Because you've got the Fiend character, which I'm sure will make an appearance. You've got Howdy around. You've got a Funhouse. You can't ignore the Funhouse. And the puppets and all that kind of stuff. Funhouse Bray. So, if Bray comes back, I mean, I think he will likely do what he was doing just before he left. And that is kind of represent all of those different personas. Io almost got knocked into Bailey. Roll up by Io, but Bailey is distracting the ref. Oh. Io's having a go at Bailey now. Oh, there's an argument. 619 by Zelina. 619, 1, 2, 3. Zelina wins. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. Bailey and Io are not on the same page. They haven't been for quite a while. Io is not happy. Look, we'll win Money in the Bank. Don't worry about it. Me and you. Me and you. Yeah, me and you. So Bailey accidentally distracted the ref, and that's cost Io the win. Ryan Gambler said, acknowledge me. Acknowledge me. Okay, so we're seeing match flow last week with Asuka. Bianca won in that match. Bianca very upset. She sent a tweet out and she was like, she was saying, like, I've got to jump through hoops to try and get a rematch. Charlotte just comes back and just gets one. Like, is it me? It's not just me. Is it? Like, it's not just me. She's not, she is not happy at the moment. And there's a lot of people thinking this could lead to a Bianca heel turn. Chris said, if Seth loses his title on Monday, is there any point of Seth going to NXT on Tuesday? Well, no. I mean, either they won't do that match, in all likelihoods. I mean, they could either do Seth against Braun, not for the title, or they could do the new champ against Braun instead. Okay, here's Bianca. You said you'd figure this out. I gave you my word I'd figure this out. I can't give you an answer. So Pierce has got no answer for Bianca. Right or wrong, I'm going to do it my way. Okay, so Grayson Waller effects. So Bianca says, right or wrong, I'll do it my way. Okay. Okay. WWE on Sky. Face Charlotte is like Face Miz. Yeah, Face Charlotte doesn't massively work for me. I mean, Charlotte to me is just a heel. I mean, I get why they did it, because they needed to get the belt off Ronda. But I don't disagree. Like, it doesn't massively work for me. Miz is just a heel. Charlotte is just a heel. Right, we are at commercial break. Grayson Waller effect coming up next. Heard some pops there when Bianca said she was going to do it her way. Crowd are desperate to see her bring back that mean streak, says JB. David said, Days versus Joe Rogan for commentating Championship of the Worlds. David, shout out to you. Days, you're 2 minutes ahead of me. Jeez, Louise. So we've got who's on this week's show? We got Roman Reigns. We got Jay. I think Jey Uso is going to be on. I'm expecting Jey Uso to be on. Sami Zayn, Bianca. Bianca is having a reason to be mad and heel. Come on, Flair, she has come back recently before WrestleMania. Then after WrestleMania, she took off, then returns. Do I smell triple threat, says Robert. Maybe you do. Maybe that's what's in the air. Triple threat. Have a chance against person that lost the belt. They deserve a rematch. Well, WWE don't like doing immediate rematches, do they? Which I'm a little bit split on, to be honest. I think you could maybe do something whereby if you've been a champion for a certain amount of time, maybe it triggers the rematch. That could be kind of fun. Like if you can hold a belt for, say, 200 days, as soon as you get past 200 days, if you lose that belt, then you get an automatic rematch. Because you've been champ for so long, you've earned that right to have a shot at it. I wouldn't mind a little rule like that, but I suppose the problem is the more little rules that you put in like that, the more you've got to stick to them. Otherwise, wrestling fans rightfully will be like, "Excuse me, she went past 200 days. She is entitled to a rematch." And so you can understand WWE not wanting to get too bogged down with that kind of a thing. But I wouldn't mind that being a little rule. I'd probably be I'd be the worst at that. I love rules. I love putting in little rules, little things like that. And if I was like on creative, I'd probably have a few things like that, which would probably then be a nightmare to try and maintain. I was praying that Michael Cole would attack Bayley. Right, we are 5 minutes away from the halfway point. Oh, shouting backstage between Io and Bayley. Don't you trust me? Wasn't every woman for herself when you cost me my qualifying match? You don't belong in the ladder match. Why don't you put your spot on the line? Bayley laughing. Io accepts. What did you do that for? Okay, so Io. That's fun. So an upset Io agrees to Bayley putting her spot on the line. Okay, here we go. The Dynamite from Down Under, the most talked about sensation on SmackDown. Grayson Waller effects. Never seen a spot being on the line before. Ain't ones you was able, but can happen. I like it. Can't see any reason why you can't do it. We've seen Money in the Banks that have been won, defended before. My next guest is a titan of industry. She is a legend. Get on your feet and welcome the 14-time champion, Charlotte Flair. Right, here comes Charlotte. Bow down to the queen. Why does he never wrestle? I think they're just introducing him at the moment. I don't mind this. It's a good way of just getting him, like, the crowd used to him. I really like his set as well. He's got a great set. So tired of these talk shows having really rubbish sets. But this has got, like, a proper desk, palm trees in the background. Actually, it's got something to it. I like the fake tweets as well. I could listen to Grayson all night. Grayson is as smooth as silk. Bow down to the queen. I don't know why. This outfit. This looks like Cruella de Vil on holiday. In 2, look at the Union flag in the background. In London. I tell you what, that SmackDown the night before looks sick. Don't it? Looks good. That looks damn good. Bow down to the queen. All things considered, I say Charlotte is the female goat of wrestling, says Wrestle with Andy. Days, thanks for asking my question on your toy hunt. Hope you will be able to get another code. James, shout out to you, buds. Yeah, it's just a limited time thing, unfortunately. I think they started doing, what I was told was they stopped the code because they started doing like a point scheme thing instead. So they launched that. So they got rid of all their codes and launched this point scheme instead. I don't know where they are with that. I don't know if they still do the point scheme or what. Okay. In 2 weeks, on SmackDown, you and Asuka. I think of matches that changed the industry. So he mentions ending Asuka's undefeated streak. But this is not the same Asuka that you faced in the past. Crowd are wooing. Charlotte looking around at the fans. Will you become a 15-time champion? Grayson said, sorry, I got a bit distracted by you. He's being a bit flirty. Since we're talking numbers, I've got Asuka's number. You can woo. Woo! Grayson's being like a giddy schoolgirl here. Fangirling over Charlotte. Grayson's like, I had nothing to do with this as Bianca makes her way down. Bianca making her way down to the ring. King Yeti said, it's Charlotte nap time. I never needed you at all. Here's Bianca. I think Logan will accept Seth's open challenge on Monday because Logan has still got beef with Seth, says Chris. Bianca's in the ring. With all due respect. Am I tripping? Am I tripping, girl, or am I tripping? So she asked for a rematch. She didn't get the rematch. Charlotte waltzes back in. She gets an opportunity. Am I tripping, girl? Am I tripping? I think we've got EST chance. Hello, EST. I don't write the rules. I'm not going to apologize. The line starts and ends with me. I lost to Rhea. I didn't get a rematch. So aren't we both owed a rematch? It's true, actually. So Bianca said, I got defeated, but I stayed. I didn't hide for 3 months, says Bianca. You think I ran away? I might have stepped away, but I didn't run away. "14 times I've picked myself back up. I'm a champion with or without the title." This is an interesting little back and forth between Charlotte and Bianca. This is a great dream match, actually. It's the only horsewoman Bianca is yet to beat. This legit main event's WrestleMania. You can do Charlotte Bianca as the main event of night one. Put some respect on my name. Whew. The past is the past. So she's going to be ringside for that match. Title match. So Bianca said she's going to step in the ring and call her shots. So she's going to watch the match in 2 weeks' time. She'll step in the ring and she'll call her shots. That's a great segment. I really enjoyed that. I said what I said. Girl, you tripping? She said she's relevant with or without the title. What a joke. Charlotte needs the title to stay relevant, says Brony. Here's Jay. Here's Heyman. Heyman says, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I told you the truth last week. I'm sorry I was right last week. I'm sorry your brother Jimmy kicked you in the face last week. This is another good segment. Jimmy doesn't miss. He said he meant to do it jealousy, envy. You don't deserve that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry too, says Jay. I'm sorry that if I'm in, you're still out. Ooh. Ooh. Oh. Tell you what, I feel like I'm eating pretty good tonight. I feel like I'm eating pretty good. Here's AJ and Michin. AJ and Michin versus Carrion and Scarlett. Why is Jay acting like he has power, says Hagen Daz's. Suppose he does. I mean, if he was to set the ultimatum to Roman of it's either me or Paul Heyman, I mean, it would be very interesting to know what Roman would do. Be very interesting. I mean, don't forget, Heyman is not Bloods. Heyman is definitely someone that is disposable, replaceable. You could maybe make the same argument for Jay, but Jay is Bloods. So I think he is feeling quite confident that, you know, if he was to choose Roman and go back, he would have a say on things. He would have the ear of the tribal chief, and of course, Heyman would have the ear of the tribal chief as well. So it would be a decision that Roman would have to make. But yeah, I think Heyman knows that that's a decision that he would not want Roman to have to make, because the bottom line is, you know, is it a decision between choosing someone that's family and someone that isn't family? Is that what it comes down to? Maybe Heyman knows that might not go his way. Heyman's been out the bloodline before. The man that should be in the men's Money in the Bank, AJ Styles, said Wrestling Kids. How about Jey Uso versus Paul Heyman at Money in the Bank? Winner stays in the bloodline. I mean, I don't look at Paul Heyman as being in peak physical condition. I mean, to be honest, if Heyman was to have a match, I'm really not convinced that we would get through it without paramedics, you know. that guy is in all kinds of wrong shape. I tell you what, let's do halftime scores. We are at commercial break, so let's get these done. Otherwise, we might not get to them. Halftime scores, everybody. It's the halftime scores. I really want to know your halftime scores. Put it in the chat. Halftime scores, everybody, it's the halftime scores. Are you happy? It's the halftime scores. Are you happy or you sad? Halftime scores, everybody, it's the halftime scores. I should get that recorded. If I got it recorded, I could just press play then. Just sit here like this. I like Zoom Station's comment. Scarlett didn't ask for any of this. She is a completely innocent woman. Apart from the fact that she did blow that red mist in the face of AJ and is very much a part of this. But an innocent, I love the idea of her being a victim. Wrestling Kids says 5. LD Cool said 7. Nick said 7. Q the Light Knight says 8.3. Ishan said 7.6. Rivy said 6.87. Roman said 7.5. Ahmad said 6. Donald said 5. Big Time Baxter with a 7. Future Compilations, hello, hope you're well, with a 7. LD Cool, shout out to you. Chris Martell with a 6.5. Mr. Dr. Sir Manboy, 725. Jessica with a 5. Osmond with 5 thumbs down. Irish Rebel with a 7. Trey Gaming with a 5. Kaz with a 5. Tim with a 10, no bray. Justin said 7. Point taken off because Charlotte was on TV. J Love with a 6. Daniel with an 8.95. Adam, shout out to you, buds. Greg with an 8. Aubrey Edwards with a 7. Adam with a 6.6. Kevin with a 6. Ribby with a 6.87. Terry Cook with a 7. Outlaw Angel says Bianca saying she's the longest reigning champion in an era they have not defined is like Seth saying he's defended his title more times this year than Roman. It's silly. Loopy Girl with a 6. AB Jobson says decent show so far, 7.5. Leonard Morgan, 7.25. Wrestling Kid said Days needs a remix of that song. I could probably do with a different recording of it rather than just play the same one. Seth freaking Roland said 7.5. Ribby said 6.87. Cody said, I'm going to say Carrion and Scarlett win. They're pretty good at winning. Kyron with a 6. LS Dub, shout out to you with a 7. Really fun show tonight. There's so many angles that have been built up, says Big Time Baxter. Robert with a 7.89. Chris with a 10. El Sean said, I'm sad because I've missed most of the stream. That's all right. You're here now, and we've still got a good chunk of the show to go. Abdel Hamid says 6. AB Jobson says, was that the first talk show without a fight? Trini with a 7.5. And we are underway with our mixed tag match. It is Michin and AJ taking on Carrion and Scarlett. Scarlett, we have seen her in the ring before competing against Emma. We've actually seen a mixed tag match earlier this year. Madcap and Emma against Carrion and Scarlett. Carrion and Scarlett picking up the dub. Kicks coming in by Michin. Looking for a German suplex to Scarlett. Scarlett back in the corner. She tags in Carrion. AJ comes in. Oh, kick to the midsection by Michin. Michin and AJ working together quite well. I do like these two as a mixed tag team. It's pretty fun to see Michin and AJ working together. Styles clash. 1. Oh, Scarlett grabs AJ. Breaks the pin. AJ gets up. She sort of like started to move the hair out of his face, but she did an awful job. I'm married. She was like flirting with him a little bit, and he took his glove off. He's like, I'm married. B word. I bet his wife was at home going, yeah, that's right. Cross from behind though. Cross applying a cross jacket. AJ in trouble. He is trying to get over to the ropes, but Cross. Oh, big forearm strike. Pump handle. Pump handle. He's got him up. Scooped him up. Plants him down. 2, 3. Cross wins. So Scarlett with the distraction allows Cross to get the advantage, and it's a win for Cross and Scarlett. Cross and Scarlett beat AJ and Michin. It has not been a good night for the OC. Not been a good night for the OC at all. Backstage with Roman. Solo. Well. Makes me think Legion of Doom. Heyman shakes his head. Tribal Chief. Yeah. You got that message. Solo. Roman stands up. Do you need me to handle this, says Solo. Easy. We've still got plenty of time. Whatever you say, my tribal chief. Easy. Still got plenty of time, Solo. Calm down. Calm down, Solo. There's still plenty of time. So, Heyman tells Roman, no. Solo, need me to handle this? And Roman says, still plenty of time. Oh, dear. Solo is trigger happy, says Birdman. This is great, says Alex. This could lead to Heyman with a new client, Heel Drew or Breaker, says Jason. Roman Reigns said, now I feel bad for Paul. Solo is going portray him in Money in the Bank. Oh, betray him. Days WWE Money in the Bank is 2 weeks from tomorrow, says Adam. Adam, shout out to you. Juan said AJ could have just posted with the Cross jacket like how Cross usually wins. Really want to see it more. First time. It's I don't know if it's new or not. Juan, shout out to you. Yeah, AJ sadly coming up on the wrong side of the result this week. NYC Mano War said Roman has the 3 belts on display. Y'all thought he would go back to having 1. Tribal Chief leveled up like Thanos. EST, shout out to you. Runners said, are you going to be there at the London shows? Yes and no. So I will be in London on the Thursday and the Friday meeting people at Wrestling Shop Live. So that is a pop-up shop that's at Waterloo Station. It's just a few stops away from the O2. And it's a pop-up shop. It's not going to be there. It's only there for 5 days. It's going to sell WWE action figures, WWE merchandise. Mattel are going to be there. New figures are going to be shown. I'm going to be there. They're trying to get a WWE superstar legend as well. Still haven't heard anything on that. So there's a lot happening, which is good, actually, because to be honest, I'm not aware of WWE doing anything. Like, there's no pop-up shop that WWE have organized. There's no access. Not that you tend to get them anyway. They only tend to be for WrestleMania. But yeah, this is the only thing I'm aware of that's like wrestling related outside of SmackDown and the actual Money in the Bank show. So it's very exciting. So yeah, I will be in London, but I won't be at the actual shows because I'll be at that shop. Right, we are back from commercial break. All Firefly Funhouse props and Bray Wyatt props have been ordered to get settled and ready to start traveling as soon as possible, says me. Perhaps we're getting close then. We're seeing WWE with the Special Olympics. '23 World Games. Cameron Grimes. Here's Cameron Grimes. He attacked Baron Corbin last week. Cameron Grimes. Oh, Corbin attacks him now. You're having fun. You're having fun now. You got lucky. Your luck has just run out. Grimes gets wiped out by Baron Corbin. Boyaka, boyaka. Boyaka. 619. Rey Mysterio. Boyaka, boyaka. Right. When Bray comes back, he needs to tell a story a little quicker and not be instantly into a gimmick match. How is it different from Paralympics, said Scottish Nightmare? That's a good question. Is this one more... I don't know, actually. I actually don't know how it's different. I don't want to say anything that's out of term, but I'm thinking, are the Paralympics like physical disability and Special Olympics like mental disabilities? Could it be that? So I'm trying to think. I don't think I saw people with learning difficulties. I think that's the way they word it these days. I don't think I saw anyone with learning difficulties at the Paralympics. I think they were all physically disabled. So I'm thinking the Special Olympics might be a bit more learning difficulties. That would be my guess, but it's just a guess. Here's Ray. He's got many accomplishments that he's proud of. It is special needs and mental disabilities. Shout out to Ryan Gambler. Dub. Oh. Okay, so he said the person I'm going to introduce is the essence of the LWO. So Ray introduces Santos Escobar. Here comes Santos. And once you're in the Hall of Fame, you fight less. L. Leon, shout out to you. Hope you are well. Now, where's this segment going? I don't know where this segment's going. Does Roman carry all 3 belts? Seemingly so, yeah. Okay, so Santos comes out. He talks about timing. I've worked hard, a lot of sacrifices. I feel like they're really trying to cater to that Latin market a lot more. And I wonder if that's to do with AEW. I wonder if they're concerned AEW could make a real stand in that market. I feel like I hear foreign language a lot more these days. Maybe that's a Triple H thing more than a... They embrace. Oh, the 2 Blues Brothers! Oh my God, do you remember them? Do you remember those guys? The 2 guys that are dressed in the thing. Were they the ones that held up the sign about pork chop cash? Do you remember those guys? Look at them. LA Knight's coming out. Do you remember those 2 Blues Brothers? I mean, we are going back years and years and years since we last saw them in the crowd. He's got a sign as well. I want to know what his sign is. Oh, God, it's like seeing an old friend again. I might be getting confused with what their signs were, but I think they had a sign for pork chop cash. LA Knight comes in. He pushes over Ray. So LA Knight comes down. He pushes over Ray. He has got a sign. I really want to see his sign. Ray goes against the ropes, looks to hit LA Knight with a 619. Coming up next is Escobar against LA Knight. Special would be autistic or Down syndrome athletes. Paralympics is for the paraplegic athletes. Ismail said Jay will leave Roman and persuade Solo to join them, then Jimmy, and then they get a chance at Roman. Okay, so LA Knight came down. He attacked Ray, and now it's setting up a match which I think it was rumored before. I think I saw a rumor of this match, but I don't think it was confirmed by WWE. But LA Knight against Santos coming up after the break. LA. Days Dynamite Stack Show, well received, coming off 2 weeks of 900,000. This week, NBA and NHL competition out the way. 2 AEW ads on Raw, NXT, and it went to 832. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. I thought it would hold at like 900 and something. I thought it would hold at 900 and something. 832. Do you know what I think plays a factor? What I think plays a factor is the show before. I think if the show before Dynamite is a big number, if they start with a big number, they tend to keep people. But if the show before tends to not do so well, I don't think they're very good at attracting people. I think AEW can keep people, but I don't know that they're very good at attracting people. So I would actually put that number down. I think the truth is that they've got 800 and some thousand people that watch the show. I think that's their fan base. And then I think the extra, potentially, are people that are just, watching the show before that then stick around. And I think if people aren't watching that show before, there's no one for them to keep. There's no one to stick around. I've heard Jim Cornette talking about like the numbers for, I think it's Big Bang Theory. I would feel confident that the Big Bang Theory that was on before would also have done a lower number than usual. And I think that could be a factor. According to WrestleNomics, they opened with 918, and the final quarter with Blackpool Combat Club and Elite did 699. That's low. 699's low. Adam said WWE's premium live events are as follows: Money in the Bank in July in London, SummerSlam August in Detroit, Payback is September in Pittsburgh. LD Cool said, EST, what about me? Do I make the chat interesting? I'm sorry, I had to be cute about it. Arlie and the Bean, I haven't got into AEW. I haven't heard that the storylines are very good. Would you say that's true? I would say that's true. I don't think the storylines are very good. I think MJF Adam Cole is quite interesting at the moment. I think that's, what they're doing there, I think is good, fine. I'm into that. I thought the Four Pillars stuff had potential, but I just don't think the execution was very good. I don't think there's anything going on in the women's division. Mid-card belts, it really depends how you feel about Orange Cassidy. Wardlow, I think, has got potential, but I don't think there's really much going on. I mean, him against Luchasaurus could be okay, but that ain't a match that's bringing in loads of people. Elite Blackpool Combat Club doesn't seem to be really grabbing too many people. I mean, I look at Blackpool Combat Club quite frustratingly because I really like Bryan Danielson and I'd much rather watch him wrestle singles matches rather than be in this group. So, I don't know. The Bucks don't do it for me. The Young Bucks don't do it for me. Danielson, I'd rather see wrestle singles matches. So, I don't know. I think if you're a fan of it, there's stuff there for you. But if you're an outsider looking to come into it, I don't think there's much there. I don't think there's much there. And that's not anything I haven't said on the actual streams. It's not like I'm on those streams going, wow, this is the best show. Man, everyone should be watching this. And then I come onto the WWE streams and I say something different. Like, I'm consistent with what I'm saying. I've said on those streams, there's just not a lot that's grabbing me. There's things I like. I like House of Black. I like Jamie Hayter. I like Bryan Danielson. There's things that are good. They got some good stars. I mean, I think Bullet Club Gold has got potential. I think the Guns have got potential. I think there's some good stuff in AEW. But yeah, it comes down to the stories. I don't think the stories are very good. And I think there's an acknowledgement of that because we are seeing new faces being brought into creative. So that could be something that we could see improve. And actually, this week's Dynamite was really fun to watch. This week's Dynamite was pretty solid. Enjoy. I think it was about like a 7.5. It's one of the best Dynamites I've seen in a while. So 1, 2, LA Knight. Oh, almost cheated. 2, 3, Santos pins LA Knight. It's a win for Santos. Santos picks up the victory. Momentum as you mentioned, important. LA Knight tried to cheat, but Santos kicked him on his arm and rolled up LA Knight. So it's a win for Escobar. LA Knight jumps in from behind. LA Knight throwing in some shots on Santos. Here's Ray. Ray comes down. So Ray makes the save. King Yeti said Bryan Danielson is the real super kick party because that's all he does. The only thing Bryan Danielson does is super kicks. Is that what you meant? I don't think you meant that. What did you mean? You talking about Bryan Danielson, the technician, the guy that's like constantly doing reversals, mat-based work, cross faces. I'm trying to think if I've even seen him do a super kick. I don't even know if I've seen Bryan Danielson do a super kick. Did I read that right? Bryan Danielson is the real super kick party because that's all he does. I don't know if I've ever seen Bryan Danielson do a super kick. I'm really trying to think now. Is that what you meant? I don't know. I'm confused. You've got me all confused, King Yeti. I'm all kinds of confused. I'm all kind of twisted. Perhaps he did a load of super kicks in a match recently, like Double or Nothing or something. I didn't see it. I didn't watch the Anarchy in the Arena match, so I can't comment on that. But I can't. I'm really struggling to think of remembering seeing. I'm sure he has, but I can't say that's all he does. I can't even remember him doing one. Danielson does super kicks? Question mark says placed. I don't know. I don't know. Perhaps I read it wrong. JB said, "Why are we still forcing LA Knight as a heel? I don't get it. It's resulting in all baby faces getting booed," said JB. So Killer said, I agree. I've not heard or seen anything that makes me want to keep tuning in. Oh, here we go. King Yeti said he just kicks. Oh, he does a lot of kicks. Yeah, that's true. I mean, just like when they're down, that's kind of one of his things, though, isn't it? That's I haven't really got a problem with that. I wouldn't say he just kicks. He's got a lot of submission holds, hasn't he? I mean, he's a very technical wrestler. But yeah, one of the things he does is when they're down on the knees, and they used to be called the yes kicks. That's still a big part of his game. Most of his offense is kicks. Right, got you. King Yeti, shout out to you. Roddy K said, my question is, who the heck is Santos? Santos Escobar. He's in LWO. Right, we are coming back from commercial break, and I'm guessing this is, I mean, we've only got 24 minutes, so it's got to be the Roman segment. Would you say there's a chunk of AEW fans that are frustrated because you can have a great show, but when there's nothing happening, happening shows in between, it's rough? I don't know, to be honest. I think it's a real mixed bag. I think if you're an AEW fan, you are just really... there's varying degrees of AEW fans, just like there's varying degrees of WWE fans. Here's Jay. Jay is backstage. There's Sammy. Jay and Sammy. They've got quite the history. Smile on Sammy's face. See how this goes. Usi chants. Oh, he doesn't say anything. He just walked off. Oh, they just shared a moment. Okay, Roman's making his way down. If you want to, get acknowledging. Kojiko said, I'm praying Ben falls when he walks out on that stage. Bye, 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 bye. Sleep, sleep, sleep. Cheese, 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 cheese. Who the hell's Ben? Who's Ben? Ben Reigns. Is that Roman's real name? Ben. Ready for the Son of Umaga news for Monday, says I'm number one. Ready for the Son of Umaga news for Monday. What do you mean? What do you mean? Here's the bloodline. Just got a mention of Pedro Morales. But Cody hasn't really fought Dom that much. Crowd is quiet, then pop when he comes out, as always, as we know, so when he comes out. Chris said, I'm going to Wembley for AEW. Do you know the cards? No. They've got to get Forbidden Door out the way first, buds. As soon as they're done with Forbidden Door, then the card will become evident. It's going to be a stacked cards. And you know, I've said this. This is why they've sold so many tickets. Because I think people know this is the first time they're coming. I think it's at Wembley. It's called All In, or like, you know, it is literally them going big. And so, you know, Mercedes Moné, CM Punk. I think people were expecting CM Punk before anything was even announced regarding CM Punk or even teased about CM Punk. People are like, he'll be there. So yeah, it's going to be a stack cards. I'd expect some New Japan talent to be on it. I'd expect Mercedes to be on it, but nothing yet. I honestly don't understand having all the belts. What's the point of the new one? To be honest, I think the new one is the one that's going to carry on. If someone was to beat him now, I think the new one is the only one that would continue. But I don't think they want to get rid of the old ones just because to the casual fans it looks like he's got 3 belts. I mean, he has, but he's only won 2. It's just a way of making it look even more prestigious. Like, my God, look at all the belts he's got. If you're a kid and you're new to this or just new to this, just visually, it elevates him above everyone else. It's nothing more than that. I don't see any way that when he loses this title, the next person's going to be walking around with 3 belts. Roman stepping into the ring. Dun, dun, dun. They usually let go of the old when they get the new, but not now, says Juan. Cody Rhodes said Ty Conti is having a girl. Congratulations to Umaga's son on the future birth of his son. A pregnant man is what the world needs. I have no idea what this story is about Umaga's son. I haven't seen anything about Umaga's son. Right, we've got big final segment coming up. Will Jey Uso fall in line? That is the question. Will Jey Uso fall in line? Marcus says, do you believe in aliens? I believe in aliens. I don't believe they've visited us. I don't think anyone's been probed. I don't think we've had UFOs visit and stuff like that. But I don't know if you've ever seen those videos where it like talks about how big the universe is. But I think they said that there's like, just in the observable universe, just the bit we can see, I think there's something like 1 billion planets that could potentially support life. So you sort of think like, well, chances are, probability is that one of those 1 billion planets probably does have some sort of life. I don't know. I'm not thinking it's little green men or anything like this, right? I'm not thinking it's the kind of things you see. It could just be like some sort of bacteria or something. But do I think there's some sort of life in the universe? I can't see. I would have to think it impossible that there wasn't. I'd have to think it would be impossible for there not to be life out there. I saw a video. It was a video where there was, I think it was one of those Neil deGrasse Tyson ones. He was talking to this woman and he asked her, how much of the universe have we actually observed? How much of the universe have we seen? And she went, okay, think about all the water on Earth. And he was like, okay. She's like, all the seas, all the rivers, absolutely everything, all the lakes, right? All the water on Earth, right? The amount of universe we've actually looked at and the amount of universe we've actually seen is the equivalent of 1 glass of water compared to all the water on Earth. I mean, it's just, you can't get your head around how big it is. It's like, you can't comprehend the size of the universe. It's not, the human mind just can't quite do it. So, yeah, I reckon there's something out there, but I don't think they've visited us. I saw another video where they said they don't know if we will ever see other life, because it would take something like 100,000 light years for the nearest planet, like people to get. So they'd have to travel at the speed of light for 100,000 years to get to us. So they're like, we just might never encounter life. It's so spread out. We just might never do it. I mean, you don't know what technology would advance to. You don't know where we're going to get to, but pretty fun stuff. I like all that stuff. I like Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's cool. Seen a few of his Joe Rogan interviews. Cameron Grimes against Baron Corbin is made for next week. Let's not worry about alien life. Let's focus on tribal life, because we're going to be getting Roman segment next. So Shotzi and Bailey next week as well. Ronda and Shayna against Isla and Alba next week. That is Women's Tag Team Championship match. Cameron Grimes, Baron Corbin, as we said. Right, let's see where this segment goes. We've got 14 minutes. 14 minutes. It's the #1 trend in the United States right now. Smackdown, Roman Reigns. Roman takes a deep breath. Shotzi Bailey. If Shotzi wins, she replaces Bailey. That would suck, man, because the crowd love singing Hey Bailey, don't they? You've got to have Bailey in London. You've got to. Hey, hey, Bailey. Ooh, ah. I want to know. Will you be my girl? You'll be hearing that. Can't have Shotzi there. Acknowledge me. He didn't really go for that one, did he? Acknowledge me. Didn't really give that the full whack. Here's the Usos. Let's go, baby. We're cooking now. This is it. This is what people want. Here's Jay. Jey Uso making his way down. Let's go. Let's go. Big 13 minutes coming up right here. Big 13 minutes. I still want to know what the Blues Brothers signs say. Oh, make the right choice, Jay, said Aubrey Edwards. I acknowledge that Roman sucks, says Garnet Empire. Do, 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 do. Woo! Okay, let's go. He's pacing around. Roman standing in the ring. Jay. Smile on the face of Roman. He doesn't look like he's joining. But I feel like we might have some twists and turns here. Come on, Jay. Come on, JJ. What's he going to say? What's Jay going to say? Uso chants. Uso chants. Jay's pacing back and forth. I know what they want. They want answers. Are you in? Are you in? Or are you out? What's going on, Jay? Are you in or are you out? There's a smile on the face of Jay. You in or out, Jay? In or out? Come on, Oos. Come on, Oos. What are you deciding? What you... Oh, it's good, isn't it? It's good. Are you in or out? It'll be him or me. So he is putting that ultimatum to Roman. It's either him, Paul Heyman, or me. Oh, look at Heyman. Look, he's like a puppy. He's got puppy dog eyes. When you're tribal chief, you can pick anyone you want as your wise man. This is my wise man. Is my wise man is here to help me. I was only meant to get us here. You're meant to keep us here. Oh, I love that. I love that. We've been grooming you for over 3 years. Why do you think you was main event Jey Uso? Oh, some of this is so good. You're meant to lead. Just not yet. The problem isn't the wise man. The problem is your brother. This is really good. This Jimmy's coming down. Jimmy's making his way down. Problem isn't... The problem isn't your brother, Jay. The problem is your cousin. He's not grooming you. He's using you. You believe this? Do you believe this garbage? It's good, isn't it? It's really good. Uso chants from the crowds. Listen to them. They weren't doing this 10 years ago. Took 10 years just to get you into WrestleMania. Here's an anchor. I'm the wings. Love that line. Here's an anchor. I'm the wings. Roman thinks he's Red Bull. You can't be a tribal chief and a twin at the same time. Oh my God. You probably could. Wise man. I love you, my tribal chief. I love you, my tribal chief. You're so good. When he was my right-hand man, who was the only one that had a problem with it? And they're like, it was Jimmy. Jimmy had a problem with it. Roman versus Jimmy, Undisputed Championship match at Money in the Bank. WWE had Roman missing, but decided to change it, says Adam. Jay is looking at Jimmy. Is that true? So Jay is asking Jimmy. It's true. This whole time you've been doubting me. I expect that from him, but not from you. Is his name Joshua? Mr. Prom King. Mr. Most Likely to Succeed. Usos are so good, said Hagen Daz's. You got hurt. I stepped up. I'm the right-hand man. I main event Jey Uso, and it's all because of him. So guess what? You out, Jay says to Jimmy. Bang. Nice. You out. I'm out too. Jay picks Jimmy. You out. I'm out too. Crowd erupts as Jay super kicks Roman. Solo gets super kicked as well. Roman laughing in the background as well when he said you out. He said, guess what? You out. Roman's like, ha ha ha.
but I'm out too. Bang! It's a lovely line. It's a great moment. Roman is double super kick by the Usos to Roman. The bloodline is done as we know it. Everything has changed. Everything has changed. That's a big ending. Just keeps delivering, doesn't it? It's like Deliveroo. It's like Just Eat. Just keeps delivering. The last super kick was a killer. Lordy lords. Drama continues. Just brilliant. Just brilliant. So I must admit, when he was going off on Jimmy, some of the stuff in there, I was like, not sure. I'm not sure about some of this dialogue. And actually, it seemed like he was getting a little lost at times. And there was one bit where he went, Mr. Prom King. Yeah, take that, Mr. Prom King. Lovely. Cinema, says me. I almost believed it, says Elijah. End of an era. It really is. It really is the end of an era. I mean, that is the bloodline done as we know it, as we said. That is the bloodline done. My heart is broken. Wow. Your heart might be broken, but what do you think about Roman's chin? Your heart might be broken, but Roman's chin's in a much worse situation. What a show. That's how you end a show, said Justin. Right, let me do a quick video because, well, got to, haven't we? Got to. After that, jeez. Massive ending to this week's SmackDown then. It is absolutely gripping. So basically, Roman told Jay that there was one problem and only one problem. One person that had an issue when he was made the right-hand man. Paul Heyman nodded over to Jimmy. And this moment here where Jay, very upset with Jimmy, couldn't believe that his brother felt that way, was envious and jealous, seemingly, of Jay being the right-hand man. So you get this big moment where Jay is absolutely berating his twin brother, saying, you got her, I stepped up, I became main event Jey Uso, I was the right-hand man, and it was all down to Roman. Really made it seem like the way it was going, the direction that it was going, was that he was going to be joining Roman once again. So we get this big moment, and this moment in particular where he says to his brother Jimmy, you're out. He makes it clear, you are out. You are done with the bloodline. You're out. And then he turns around and says, but I'm out as well. I'm out too. And bang! Look at that. Super kick from Jay to Roman. Roman goes down. Both of the Usos are out of the bloodline. Everything has changed in this story. This now, we are done. We are done. There is no way back from this. We know that Jimmy was out of the bloodline. Roman had already made that clear. It was all about what was Jay going to do? Who was Jay going to choose? And honestly, they did a great job of making it feel like Jay was going to pick Roman. They were giving Jay lots of reasons as to why he should pick Roman. But listen, that's his twin, man. That's his twin. And he has decided to stay with Jimmy. The way it was done was brilliant. The crowd absolutely erupts. Usos super kick Roman again after this. They are out. They are out. The decision has been made, and it looks like we are heading towards Roman and Solo against the Usos. So this story just continuing to unfold, unravel, go to different places. You know, if you think how great last year was with Sammy, I mean, we're in a whole different ballpark now where the Usos have exited the bloodline. And this is going to set up a big, big summer feud. So this, I mean, you can't do just one match here. This isn't going to be Usos against Roman and Solo, and that's it. We're done. So, man, I can't wait to see where this goes. But this segment was fire. Absolutely awesome, awesome stuff. Get in your full-time scores. Get in your full-time scores. What did you think of the show, of that segment, of that ending? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was a bit too obvious? I must admit, when he was talking to his brother, the thought of him turning round and attacking Roman was very prominent. I mean, I've always thought that he would choose Jimmy. I've said that. And that's no great prediction because there's been rumors for a long time of Usos against Roman and Solo. So the way it was going, the way he was berating his brother, the idea he could turn around and do that to Roman, as I said, was very prominent. But I still thought the execution of it was brilliant. I still thought the way they did it was just absolutely bang on. Did you see Usos, Solo, Roman at Money in the Bank? I think so. I think so. Jey Uso chooses Jimmy Uso over Roman Reigns and the Bloodline. Massive. Who do you think is taking Roman's title? I think it'll be Cody Rhodes. After that tag match, says Blazed. Hello, Blazed. I feel they will find a way to reunite the Bloodline again. Just had to give reasons for a tag match, in my opinion. 10 out of 10 ending. 8 out of 10 show, says Trini. Great moment, says TAE5. Getting some live reaction. Mitchell said, can I give Bloodline stuff a 9, but the rest of the show a 6? You can do whatever you want. What's your overall score? I thought this was about a 7.25. I think overall show, it's tricky, actually. It's really tricky because there's definitely some matches here that I didn't need. I didn't really need Santos against LA Knight just because, I mean, what did that do? I mean, does it set up LA Knight Ray feud going forward? If it does that, then maybe there was a purpose to it. What was the other one? EO against Zelina. Again, I suppose it planted another seed of dissension, which then leads to her putting Bayley's spot in Money in the Bank on the line. So, I don't know. I suppose you could even look at the matches which didn't really have much going for them. You could even look at those and go, well, they did lead to this. They did result in this. So, I don't know. I at no point did I feel bored. At no point was I not entertained. I thought the Charlotte Bianca segment was great. I really enjoyed that. The segment at the end, I think, is brilliant as well. The gauntlet match was, I mean, it wasn't long and outstayed its welcome. I thought that was fine. Pretty Deadly winning, I think, is pretty good. Sammy and KO confrontation was a bit strange, but it was fine. I don't know. I mean, honestly, in a way, I would struggle to be like really down on this show. I can't say for me this is in the 6s. I feel really good that this is like 7.25, 7.5. I feel like I'm around there quite a bit though, but like, yeah, there was plenty about the show I enjoyed. That ending is fantastic. Gauntlet match has found a new challenger for the tag champion, so there's a purpose to that. As we said, you know, the Zelina EO match, there wasn't much to it. But you could make the argument that because of how that finishes, that then explains why EO was so quick to put Bayley's spot in Money in the Bank on the line. So that set up some down the road. Santos against LA Knight, not really much to that. It's just a way of kind of getting a couple of people that are in Money in the Bank in the ring. But if it does lead to a little bit of an LA Knight Rey Mysterio feuds, that could be interesting. Charlotte segment I said I liked. What else did we have? All the little backstage stuff throughout the night, I thought that was good. I mean, was that everything? I can't remember what else. Oh, the Cross Scarlet AJ Meechin. It was just sort of there, wasn't it? It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was just sort of there. I mean, yeah, honestly, everything else is really tight. What else is there? I could probably be convinced to get to a 7.5 on this. I mean, when I watch a show, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for reasons as to why it was worth me watching. Was this worth me tuning in for? Was there a reason that I had to watch this show? If I woke up tomorrow and I'd missed this show, would I be gutted? Would I be like, oh man, I should have seen that moment? Absolutely, I should have seen this show. Absolutely, I should have seen that ending. I mean, it's just another example of the Bloodline story delivering. It's another example of the Bloodline story being absolutely goated. I'm quite high on this show. I'm quite high on this show. I was not bored. It didn't drag for me. There's plenty to like about it. There's loads that's been set up for the future. I can't find a dead segment. I can't find anything that's like just, I didn't need that. Because even the matches that I could look at and say that about, I can find reasons as to why they were there. They gave me a reason as to why they were there. It's a well-structured show. It's a well-thought-through show. Yeah, I'm going to go 7.5. Sod it. 7.5. It's, maybe if there was a title match, maybe if there was a big return, those are the sort of things that would, push the score even higher. But no, I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. Wrestling. I might go as far as to say that wrestling is in the best place it has been, most enjoyable place it's been for years. Years and years. We've been doing watch-alongs for these shows for so long. And honestly, they've normally been about like 7, sometimes down in the 6s for a long time. Pandemic lockdown was not fun. Going through 2020, 2021 was... But we got through it. 2022 is when we really start to see those shoots of... we're starting to see Sammy and all that Bloodline stuff and Bray returning and everything. So, but this year, it's just been absolutely fantastic. The pay-per-views have been brilliant. The shows have been really well put together. It's just a lot to love, man. There's a lot going on at the moment. Jey Uso chooses Jimmy Uso and leaves the Bloodline. Could you see Usos versus Solo and Roman at Money in the Bank? Yeah, maybe the Money in the Bank winner cashes in on the same night. Usos help them win. Don't expect that to happen, just because of the fact that whoever beats Roman is going to have a big... Well, first of all, we're really close to SummerSlam. So unless you're going to do that and do the rematch at SummerSlam, but not only that, if you look at who is in the ladder match, there's no one in that ladder match that's ready to dethrone Roman as the face of the company. We're talking the face of the company. We're talking whoever's like the top of the tree now. There's no one that's ready to do that. Plus also, I would make the argument that having the person that beats Roman doing it via cash-in is just it's such the wrong way to go. You are ending one of the greatest title reigns by someone cashing in at an opportune moment. Like, they don't benefit as much from doing that as if they were to beat Roman clean. Whoever beats Roman should do it clean because they've earned it then. You know, they've earned it. They've got in the ring and they've gone one-on-one with Roman Reigns and they've beaten him. They've beaten him. And that would be absolutely huge. But to beat him by cash-in would be really like flat, I think. Really flat. Because all of a sudden then Roman's got an out. Roman can turn around and say, well, if I hadn't been cashed in on, I'd still be champion. He doesn't need an out. When this title reign ends, he doesn't need an out. This title reign is iconic. It's legendary. The bloodline story is one of the biggest, best things we've ever seen. Roman's a heel as well. He doesn't need protecting. There's no reason to protect him. End it the right way. The right way would be one-on-one match, full of drama, that Roman's got no excuses, and the face wins. So I wouldn't do the cash-in. And I think if they do go that way, I'll be one of the first to say this was the wrong call. It's the wrong way to go. It would be a bit like ending Undertaker's streak by someone cashing in, you know? Like, you don't want someone to beat The Undertaker in a screwy way. Could you imagine if someone beat The Undertaker by count out? Or someone beat The Undertaker because of outside interference and Undertaker got DQ'd? Like, you just wouldn't end the streak that way, would you? Someone needed to beat Undertaker 1, 2, 3, clean. You can debate as to whether Brock's the right person for it, but that's what they did. And I feel the exact same way here with Roman. Someone needs to beat Roman 1, 2, 3, clean. Not cash in after Roman's just had a match. Clean. So I wouldn't go that way, but I can totally see it being a case of doing what we just said of Roman and Solo against the Usos at Money in the Bank. Timeline wise, it's working. We got 2 weeks. That means you can make the match next week. So I said by the end of tonight, we should have an answer. We should know, which then means next week we can make the match, which then means the week after is the go home. Lee Nick said Cody needs to be the one to dethrone Roman. Money in the Bank winner can cash in on the heavyweight championship or any of the mid-card belts. Oh, God. Cashing in on a mid-card belt is just the worst. It's one of the worst creative decisions I've ever heard. I really love what Triple H is doing, but I think that some of the stuff he's done is flipping mental and not in a good way. I think the cash-in of Theory last year is the worst cash-in I've ever seen. The fact that we're changing Money in the Bank so that now you can cash in on a mid-card title. I don't know why we would do that. I don't know why we would do that. I could sort of understand it, but I still hate it, and I still don't really understand it. But I could sort of understand it when Roman was the champion, because you don't want Roman to lose the belt. I've just said why. You don't want Roman to lose via cash-in, right? You don't want that, because you are then taking that moment away from someone getting it 1, 2, 3. You don't want to do that. So that means that the cash-in will fail, right? But I would argue, just fail. Just have them cash in on Roman and fail. Because what we did last year is we had Theory cash in on a mid-card title and fail, right? He didn't win it. He lost. So what was the point? What was the point? Why did we have him cash in on a mid-card title and then even then not win it? Maybe it would have made a little more sense had he have cashed in and won the mid-card title. At least then someone could throw back, well, at least he won a belt. If he'd have cashed in on Roman, chances are he wouldn't have won a belt. At least then there'd be something. There'd be something. But he didn't even win the belt. So there's literally nothing. There is no good reason as to why it went that way. And so now for them to put this rule in place, and we've now got a world heavyweight title. You haven't even got to cash in on Roman. You could cash in on Seth. There's 2 people that you can cash in on. You've got even more world title opportunity. So the idea that they're now making it a thing and making it public that you can cash in on a mid-card belt, the only reason you would do that is if you are planning on having them cash in on a mid-card belt. To be honest, if you're going to come out and publicly say, oh, just so you know, if they win Money in the Bank, they can cash in on a mid-card belt. Just remember that, yeah? Just remember that. Don't forget that. They can cash in on a mid-card belt. You're only going to say that if you're going to have them cash in on a mid-card belt. So whoever wins Money in the Bank is going to not go for a world title. Going to go for what? The Intercontinental belt. They're going to go for the United States, but it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. I cannot get my head around it. I don't understand. Someone help me make sense of this. It doesn't make any sense. You win Money in the Bank. You get a world title opportunity. World title opportunity. And not only that, you don't even have to tell the champ like in advance. It's your moment. You can cash in at any time. The champ could have just had a match. So, all right, going one-on-one against Roman, chances are you're not going to win. How about when he's just had a hellacious match? How about when he had just got past Cody at WrestleMania? You're telling me that Theory couldn't have cashed in then? You're telling me that we couldn't have had Cody lose to Roman, and then here comes Austin Theory come running down with the Money in the Bank brief? We couldn't have done that. Why couldn't we have done that? Why didn't we do that? You're telling me that wouldn't have been better than what they did when he cashed in for the United States title? I'd love to see footage of them talking about this. I'd love to see the meeting. I'd love to know the justification. I cannot get my head around it. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You don't need Money in the Bank to win a mid-card title. You don't need it. And actually, the proof of that is last year when Austin Theory cashed in and tried to win the mid-card belt and didn't win it. He then got put in a match for the mid-card belt at Survivor Series and won it there. Just to make it even worse. He didn't win when he cashed in, but a few weeks later, he gets another opportunity and just wins it at Survivor Series. It doesn't work. I can't. It's frying my brain. So yeah, I'm not a fan. But and actually, if you look at the lineup, it's very mid-card heavy. There's no AJ, there's no Kevin, there's no Sammy, there's no big names in there. It's Santos Escobar, it's Nakamura, who we haven't seen in forever and has never held a world title on the main roster. It's Butch, it's LA Knight, who is struggling to get onto pay-per-views. I mean, yeah, I don't think he's been on one. He's been on Royal Rumble, and that's it. So, he can't get onto pay-per-views at the moment. It's Damian Priest, who, all right, yeah, he's mid-card, isn't he? He ain't main event. He's mid-card. So, I'm thinking this is a very mid-card heavy lineup. Chances are that the winner of this, let's say it's LA Knight. There's loads of people that want LA Knight to win. Are you going to be happy if LA Knight wins and then cashes in for the US title? Is that what you want? LA Knight to win and cash in and wins the United States title? Don't get it. I just don't get it. LA Knight could get a United States title match. I'm fairly confident of that. Fairly confident that at some point he could get himself into the United States title picture. But, yeah. I believe Triple H wants to get a kick out of that Theory cash-in. No way you could come up with something so illogical. Even Vince at 78 can't be that dumb. So, what, you think he did it to just get some sort of kick out of it? Maybe, but I don't know. I can't. I think I'm quite good when it comes to why have they done this? Why have they done that? I think I'm quite good at seeing what they're trying to do. but I really can't see what they were trying to do there. The only explanation I can come up with is that they knew that he was not going to win the main title. So they looked at it and went, well, I don't know. I cannot give you any reason as to why it made sense for him to cash in on a mid-card title and not win it, compared to cashing in against Roman and not winning it. At least if he cashed in on Roman and didn't win it, at least he would have tried. He would have been in a world title match. He would have had a world title match. He might not have won it, but at least he would have, called his shot. Whereas this way, he went for... And the excuse he gave after was rubbish. He went, listen, I've tried to cash in on Roman. I couldn't do it. So what am I meant to do? It's like, dude, you cashed in November. You had till June. You still had 6 months. You'd only used half your time. Just because you'd tried a few times in those first 6 months and hadn't succeeded, no way does that excuse you going, well, can't be done. Can't be done. I've tried. I mean, if I was in Theory's position, I'd be thinking WrestleMania. I'd be thinking, do you know what? WrestleMania, I'll cash in there. It's going to be a big moment. He will have just had a match against Cody, and I'll go there. Because even if I fail, it's going to be such a big moment. WrestleMania, it's going to be so exciting. All those people. He did it on a Raw. For the mid-card belt. I know I keep banging on about it. I still can't. I'm not over it. I'll never be over it. It's one of the stupidest things I've ever seen. So, yeah, I don't know. I just think this is something which is probably going to frustrate me again. I think the winner is going to cash in for a mid-card belt. I'm ready for it. I'm ready now. I think that whoever wins, be it Nakamura, be it LA Knight, be it Damian Priest, I think we're looking at them cashing in on the mid-cards belt. I'm mentally got my head around that, and I think you need to mentally get ready for that as well. Right, where are we? Austin's failure to try and cash in on Roman was about Austin being Vince's boy and not being a Triple H guy. It was about Austin being a bit of a dope, says John. I think that if you are trying to portray him as being a bit of a dope, I think that you could have done a lot more work into portraying him that way. I think that you then put the belt on him and you seemingly then change his character. So seemingly he fails with his cash in, and they then use that as a way to change his character to someone that's a bit more, I'm going to stand and fight. So before, for example, if he was in the ring and Bobby Lashley came down, he would have run away. Whereas after that cash in, he stood his ground and he didn't run away. So they used it after as a slight change to his character. The Austin Theory before the cash in is taking the selfies in the ring and everything. The Austin Theory after the cash in doesn't do any of that stuff, is more focused. So when you get people defending that cash in, one of the things that they will use as a defense is it changed his character. My counter argument to that is there are literally a billion different ways that you could have changed his character. You did not need that stupid cash in order to do that. You did not need that moment to change the character, right? There's a billion. He could have tried to cash in on Roman and failed, and you could have changed his character as a result of that, right? There's absolutely no reason as to why that cash in went down the way it went down. What do you think about the inaugural women's tag tournament? Damage Control got to the final, lost to Aaliyah and Raquel, only to win the title 7 days later. What did I think about that? I thought I liked Raquel and Aaliyah. I was quite excited for them. I thought it was a bit silly having Damage Control win it 7 days later. I don't know if the thought process was, let's try and get Raquel and Aaliyah over as a team. So let's try and get them over. And then because I think we all knew Damage Control would win the tag titles at some point. So for me, Damage Control not winning them at the first time of trying, I was actually all right with. Because at the time, I thought, well, they'll win them eventually. We're just going to give Raquel and Aaliyah a bit of a run first. And maybe this is a team that WWE see a bit of a long-term future in. Maybe, not for years and years, but, this could be a team that we could do something with. Because to be honest, you probably are struggling to know what to do with Aaliyah. Because, solo-wise, she ain't really going to be a massive star. She doesn't strike me as being the most charismatic of people. So, yeah, solo-wise, you don't really expect her to go on. I expect her to be a person that when she returns, goes into a tag team. So I think they were looking at it thinking, well, Raquel and Aaliyah, let's put them together. Let's try and get them over as a team. It could be good for both of them in the short term. We'll put the belts on them. Then we'll take the belts off them a little further down the road. So all of that, absolutely fine with. I can see the logic. 7 days later is pretty mental because what have you established by that point? What have you actually done? What have you actually achieved 7 days later? So, I mean, the only thing is Raquel and Aaliyah could call themselves former champions. That's it. They could call themselves former champions. But yeah, 7 days later is pretty mental. Pretty mental. I don't really get why it was so quick. I can only imagine that they changed their mind. I can only imagine that they looked at it and they were like, well, actually, if we put the belt onto Damage Control, then we can do this with Asuka. Because I think they were doing something with Asuka and Alexa, weren't they, at the time? Because that was another weird one. Do you remember that? Asuka and Alexa win the belts on Raw on the go home, and then at Crown Jewel, they lost them back to Damage Control. So there's been quite a bit of booking with those women's tag belts that have been just crazy and haven't made much sense, to be honest. Raquel and Aaliyah got lucky, said Franks. Flash said, Theory said Bloodline will always be with Roman, so he didn't want to keep trying, and he felt confident enough he could get the US title, and he wanted a title now. Stupid, innit? Stupid. I mean, how can he know that Bloodline will always be with Roman? Has he got the ability to look into the future? Did he know, for example, that Sammy was going to break away and that was going to have lots of drama in January? Did he know that the Usos would be... did he know there would be no Bloodline? Fun fact. You've got until the next Money in the Bank. We're not at the next Money in the Bank, right? We're not there yet. It's still 2 weeks away. So did Austin Theory know that there wouldn't be a Bloodline by the time, even before we get to the next Money in the Bank? No, he didn't. So the idea that he cashed in early because he didn't believe that he would ever be successful against Roman, whatever, is a really, really bad reflection on his character, right? I think it's just a really bad way. If you're trying to build someone up, if you're trying to make someone like a future star, like they are with Austin Theory, having him take that approach and him like coming out with that as the reason is stupid because it doesn't build him up, just makes him look stupid. The fact that he didn't cash in for a world title and he cashed in on a mid-card title makes him look stupid. The fact that he cashed in on a mid-card title and he didn't win it makes him look stupid. Everything about that cash-in successfully made Austin Theory look stupid. There was nothing that came out of that was positive. Nothing that came out of it that was good. So how is that in any way beneficial? How does that help anyone in any way? And maybe if the character was a stupid character like R-Truth, who just does stupid things, like, rocks up at Money in the Bank thinking it's the Royal Rumble, rocks up at the Royal Rumble thinking it's Money in the Bank, does just wacky stuff, gets into... I think, didn't he get into a Royal Rumble with a ladder, set it up and start climbing up the ladder and all this kind of stuff? maybe if he was just confused and stupid and that was his character, that you could look at it and you could go, okay, I can see why R-Truth would do that. But no, why would you do that with someone that potentially was Vince's, selected guy, right-hand man? We were told he was going to be the next big thing. Why would you have to do that to him? And then why would you change his character just a few weeks later? Well, literally straight after. That failed cash-in is then what they used to make him a bit more switched on. The whole thing is just stupid. The whole thing is ridiculous. He's got an opportunity at a world title. He's got an opportunity to try and cash in on Roman. Not even that. There's now a second world title. If he'd have waited, he could have cashed in on a second world. He would have had Seth right there to have cashed in on as well. And we're not even at Money in the Bank and there isn't a bloodline. I mean, that cash in, all it succeeded to do was make Austin Theory look dumb and look stupid. And I have no idea why you'd want to do that. And if it was to make him look stupid, why would you then change his character a week later? Because if you are going to have Theory look stupid, wouldn't you keep him stupid? If you want him to be dumb and make a stupid decision, wouldn't you want to keep him stupid? Because that's what you want to portray, isn't it? Don't you want to portray him as being stupid? Why would you then change his character to where he's a bit more switched on? Well, I just don't get it. I don't get it. No one can ever explain this to me or justify it as being the right decision. Because it wasn't. It wasn't the right decision. It wasn't the right thing to do. Money in the Bank was working absolutely fine when it was cash in on a world title. Some of the most exciting cash-ins we've ever seen. Dolph Ziggler cashing in at the Izod Center. Seth Rollins cashing in at WrestleMania. These are just some absolutely iconic WWE moments. Just brilliant moments. And now we change it to mid-card belts. You want me to get excited when flipping LA Knight's going to come down and cash in for the United States Championship? I'm meant to be excited by that. Stupid. Big Time Back said, it's been quite the downfall for The Rock. I now wonder if he didn't feel in-ring ready in fear of embarrassing himself. Don't know. I don't know what his mindset is. After Theory's cash in, likely had to break the character down and rebuild him into someone serious, says Aubrey Edwards. Where are we? Do you think Jey Uso will challenge Roman at Money in the Bank? I think it'll be Usos against Roman and Solo. That's what I'm thinking. Theory said later he wanted to win the Rumble to fight Roman. Did he? I didn't even hear that. I don't even remember that. T85 Backup said, R-Truth is still injured, but I am predicting Odyssey Jones and R-Truth tag team when they return. Rock ego embarrasses him all the time, said Jim. Right, I think we're done. We've stuck around for a little bit. Great ending, though. Brilliant ending to SmackDown. Really enjoyable show. I mean, so good from the Bloodline story. The matches, as we said, I thought everything provided something. And really enjoyed the Bianca Charlotte back and forth. Just really good. Really enjoyed it. Can't wait for next week. Where's this leading? Where's this going? That's going to be a big talking point. That's what people want to know. I don't know. I don't know if there are rumors and whatever out there, but as we said, we have heard about Usos, Solo, and Roman for quite a while. So I've got to think that's the direction it's going. Tonight, with us getting a definitive answer, I don't see any way back now. It's good. It's exciting. I want to know what Sammy's going to say to Jay as well. I want to know what's going to happen there. I want to know what Sammy and Jay relationship's going to be like. I mean, it's going to be good. It's going to be close. I wonder if we could see them team up, but I don't know who would be on the other side. Kevin, Sammy, Jay, Jimmy versus Roman, Solo, and I don't know who they could get. I mean, if they bring in Gorillas of Destiny, imagine that. Imagine Gorillas of Destiny, Roman and Solo against Kevin, Sammy. Kevin, Sammy, Jimmy and Jay. That'd be pretty sick. And the Usos against Gorillas of Destiny, that would be sick. But I haven't heard that's what's happening. But yeah, still plenty of twists and turns to come. So appreciate the support as always. Thanks a lot for joining us, and I will see you again next time. Bye for now.